What is going on, everybody? How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening? My name is Eric, and welcome to Q2C VR Gamer Live. We are a weekly VR talk show that airs live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we broadcast live to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Kick, LinkedIn. Who the hell knows? We're all over the place, man. But you know, if you cannot catch us live, you can always catch us afterwards on your favorite podcast platform. I do need to do some updating, but I promise I'll get it done. But before we go any further, hold on. But before we go any further, let me say hello to my partner from the great Canadian Northwest. Wait a minute.
Wait.
You are most definitely not Todd Jackson. And that's a good thing because he would look ridiculous as a woman. But if we cannot have Todd, we can have the next best thing. And that is the always awesome and ever amazing Creeper Betty. What's up, Betty? How are you doing?
Gosh, what is I'm doing great. It's a good day. It's pre-Friday, man. I busted my butt this week.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Betty, welcome to your first co-host. And let's bring our third co-host in because I always like three. 3 is a good number.
3 is a good number.
What's up, Dee?
Dee.
Hi.
What's going on? We got a lot of like female thing going on here. I like it. I like this. It's cool. It's like a takeover.
Travel Man singing a song.
What's he singing? I like it. Sing
you
it up.
better not pout. You better not pout. You better not cry. That's what it is. Now that I say it out loud.
Betty, welcome to your first official co-host,
Right.
guest co-hosting on Q2C VR Gamer Live. You've been here for a couple of different shows at different times, but this is your first co-host.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous.
Why? Don't be nervous.
Yeah, because all my stuff is recorded, so my
live is so much easier than recording. You don't have to do any editing. You just kind of say what you think. I say shit all the time. It just what comes out of my mind. You know what I mean? It just bam, it's out. It's going. Once it's out there, you don't have to worry about it. Just say whatever you think.
I'm excited. I'm so excited to hang out with Dee.
Hell yeah. What's up, Dee? How was your week? How's it going?
Yeah, ready for the weekend, man.
Can we all agree that we're kind of happy that Todd's not here, right? I mean, he kind of brings the show down sometimes. He's Canadian. He's a little weird. Smells a little funny. You know
Remember that when you're producing the show next time.
Oh, goddamn, I hate it. I hate it.
That's why I bring this up.
I just do. You know what I mean? It's like I have to hit buttons. I don't want to hit buttons. I don't want to fuck around with buttons. I just want him to go live, and I go and do my shit, and then I'm done. I'm good to go. If I have to do actual work.
But if you get rid of him, then that's not going to happen.
Well, I was thinking maybe you could take over and do these things. You're so much more pleasant, and you're from America. I like it.
Dude. Damn.
Let's not clip that part out.
It doesn't matter. I just got a little thing with his Canadian background. It's okay. Actually, Betty, you're pretty damn close to Canada.
I am. I'm only 6 hours away from Vancouver, BC. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, you're really actually you're probably not far away from Todd because that's kind of where he is in the Canadian Northwest.
Isn't he more east? I thought.
No, he is not. He is definitely west coast of the Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
as SM32 says, Canada is America too. It is kind of America. It's a North America, I guess.
Yeah, people get Vancouver, BC confused with Vancouver, Washington a lot.
That is true.
They're not from around here.
That is true. But I will say we do miss Todd. Seriously, we do miss Todd. I wish he was here. He is actually on vacation with his wife and I think his kids. They went to Vegas, man. How freaking great is that? Just go to Vegas for the week and hang out and relax, gamble down the Sunset Strip. Go hang out with Elvis. Exciting.
We'll have White Castle burgers.
You could go to the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas. They have a Pinball Hall of Fame there. They have Player One, which is the amazing arcade bar where we do our annual CES party that we will be doing again this year. You can go there and hang out. You can go to gamble at all the casinos. You could go to Area 51. I think did you say that, Betty? Area 51 is awesome.
No, Meow Wolf.
Yeah. So Area 51 is Meow Wolf. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome. Very cool. But yeah, we'll see Todd back next week, everybody. But Betty and Dee are going to fill in nicely, and we're going to have a great show. We're going to talk about some cool stuff tonight. We are going to talk about a little bit about Betty. I want to talk about her show that she's been doing, which is super cool. I want to talk a little bit about some games that we've been playing, myself and Betty together. And then I want to talk a little bit about some games that came out today. We're going to talk about Stride Fates a little bit because myself and Dee had a chance to jump in there and play some Stride Fates, and we have some thoughts about Stride. And then we're going to talk about Demeo Battles, which also dropped today, which we have a quick little interview that we have from one of the developers. We're going to talk to him, like a 20-minute interview or so. And then we're going to talk about our top 10 PlayStation VR list. Now, this top 10 PlayStation VR game list encompasses PlayStation VR 1, PlayStation VR 2, the whole thing. So it's the whole thing throughout the history of PlayStation VR. We're going to give our top 10s. We did our top 25s of the Quest a couple of weeks ago. And D, that was super hard doing top 25. We're jumping in the freaking deep end of the pool here and going top 10 right out of the get-go.
The larger list, I think, was more difficult than.
Was it really?
Than
I had an easier time this time making my top 25. It's when I got to my top 25, making my top 10, I had a tough time because there are some perennial all-time favorites for PlayStation, Betty, that, from PlayStation VR 1 that are amazing. But again, what do I always say? Like, you can't always just be nostalgic for some of these games. Sometimes they have to come off the list for some newer games because they just don't hold the cut the mustard anymore. You know what I mean? They're not new games. So it was difficult for me. How about you, Betty?
At the first I thought about it doing 25, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I think I stopped at 17. And then, again, there's probably a lot of games I didn't own or don't own now. But I just was remembering the times when I did play a lot, and it was easy to bring up 10 for me. It was, I did one for PSVR 2 and one for PSVR 1.
I know. Yeah. We didn't even do. You're like an overachiever. I asked for give me your top 10, and you made a top 10 for both categories, man. You're trying to make me and D look bad.
No.
We'll
just stick with PSVR 2.
What is she? She thinks she's better than us, D.
There's some really golden ones though on the PSVR 1.
Oh, there is. I can tell you this. So there are many of them that did make my top 10. There are many that made my top 25, and I did go 25, and maybe we'll talk about the top 25, but we're mainly going to focus on the top 10. But guys, before we even get into any of that, let's say hello to our amazing, awesome people that we have in chat. We have Mr. Tasselhoff right at the top, says, "Hey, all, can't stay for the show tonight, but I know Betty is going to keep MASH on task. Catch everyone later, and always available on Discord if you need anything." Awesome. Thanks, Tass. And Betty, you're going to keep me on task? Are you going to do something that Todd has no control over and can't do himself? Are you going to do that and keep me on task? We've been going like 3-hour plus shows the last 2 weeks. Todd, we get done, and Todd and Betty are like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, this is supposed to be a 2-hour show.
Like, there goes all my gaming time.
Because we talk about it every week. We're like, we get all jazzed up because we start talking to each other before show, and we're like, "Hey, yeah, let's get that. When we get done with the show, let's go in and we'll do something fun. We'll play something." And then we end up going like a 3-hour show, and we're like, he's like, "I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed."
I got sleep.
Yeah.
Chris 9989 says, "Hello, early crew. I am Dickel is here. Assassin 32 is here." He says he's spreading the rumor that Todd has suspended for never playing Mother Gunship Forge. And Betty, as of like 2 weeks ago, you said the same thing. You had never played Mother Gunship Forge.
Yeah, I would watch you play that on Saturdays, and I'm just like, not for me. Why do you keep playing this game? Play something else. And then a couple weeks ago, we got into dungeons, and then you're like, "Hey, Mother Gunship," and I'm like, "No," and you surprised me with a gift, and so I started, and it was so much fun. It's so much fun. It's hilarious. Like, we played during Halloween, so we were there with the Halloween update, and yeah, the attachments for it's addicting.
It's crazy. Yeah, we're going to talk some Mother Gunship here in a little bit. Destiny 11 is here. Brandon VR is here. VR Spry Guy is here. What's up, dude? How are you doing? Traveling Man 3775, Michelle B, Zell 2318, Rogue TR. There's a Creeper Betty sighting in chat. Let's see. Ender's VR Arcade, Ollie VR Port. I love seeing all these green names in here. That means they're channel members. I love seeing the green names. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for being channel members. Getting Things Done is here. What is up, Jay Dunn? How you doing, dude? Chatty is here. Todd is here. He says, "Sup, party people. Keep my seat warm, Betty."
I'm warming it up.
Nice. Michelle B, I think I did say already. And let's see. Orland Hooper's here, D.
Orland Hooper's jacked, yo.
That's classic. That's better than my drop. I love it. Oh, that is so good. Love it. Todd says he's in a casino. Can't watch right now. I'll chime in later. That's okay. We'll just continue to make fun of you during the entire show since you can't be here right now. Kubo92 is here. Bacardi B. Techno Glitch. What is up, dude? How are you doing? Mepper is here. Saying hi to absolutely everyone as always. Chi-Town D is in chat. Let's see. Who else do we have? App J is here. What's going on, App J? Chatty, I think I said. Paul Fennessy says evening all from the UK. Rattlehead 9026. Zell 2318. I think I did say Radio Run is here, D.
Radio Run.
Idaho.
Nice. You guys are better than I don't even need my Go XLR. I don't even need it. TBC VR Gaming is here. Fourth Wall Breaker. Awesome Tatum is here. And he is
Steph.
awesome.
Stephanie's
Is Stephanie here? What's up, Steph? How are you doing? Steph bitches at me every night because, or not every night, but every Thursday night. And she's like, "Oh,
every night, probably.
well, pretty much every night." Okay, fair enough. Every night, every night. After every show, she's like, "I know I said hi in chat, and you never say hi to me, or you never call me out." And I'm like, "I just missed it. I can't. I know there's so many people talking here. I can't catch everything. I know there's people I miss all the time, but for some reason I miss her constantly." D, you have to be on Steph watch from now on. If she comes and says something in chat, let me know. I'll be in trouble.
Well, maybe I'll just message her, so you'll still have to acknowledge your wife in chat.
Absolutely. Do that. Yeah, absolutely. Hijack Gaming is here. How are you doing? Virtual Steve. Michelle Dillon is here. What's up, Michelle? How are you doing? Escape Portal is here. What's up, dude? Keep it going with your channel, man. You're kicking ass over there. Define Tech. Let's see. Wow, so many people. Sim. Quick Cosplay. Becca is here. What's up, Becca? How are you doing?
That's great, exciting.
Pico Guy, Chris 9989. I think I said Gabriel 004, the license to meow. Game Cat is here, and cats that are here now, and cats that are going to be watching later. You guys are all awesome. You guys all kick ass and rock as it is, but we're going to be talking PlayStation VR tonight, which is amazing. We have lots going on, and we had some kick ass pictures, Betty. Our awesome thumbnail creator Chad just kicked ass again with some thumbnail pictures.
Okay, can we just say that's 2 pictures in one.
Yeah. So basically, Betty, I'm like, Betty, I need a headshot for the thumbnail to get you on the thumbnails to, as a special guest host. So she's like, well, she sends me a picture, and I'm like, it's not great because it's like kind of like half. It was like half your face, but you were wearing a PlayStation VR 2 headset. So I'm like, it's cool. So I sent it to our guy Chad, and I'm like, can you make it work? And he's like, I'll figure something out. And then you sent me another incredible shot after that of just you, no headset, just you. Beautiful. You looked great. And then you're like, well, what about this one? I'm like, it's a beautiful shot. We'll figure something out. I send that to Chad, and I'm like, Chad, can we? They're not on green screens or anything, as a background. I'm like, Chad, can we make this work? He's like, don't worry, I'll make it work. He took both pictures, melded them together, so it's the really pretty picture of Betty with the headset on. Nicely done.
It's crazy.
I'll send you that picture. I'll send you that picture. Now you have your own new picture. Let's see who Echo into the Future is here. How are you doing? The Academy of Language and Therapy and Life Coaching is here. Says aloha. How are you doing? Dan Kim is here. How are you doing? Substatica says, hey players, what's up, dude? Oh my God, there's so many people. EV Man versus Gas is here. 6 tacos.
6
not 7, not 8. 6 tacos. Stephanie Masher is here. I do see her there now. What's up, Steph? How are you doing? Quadzilla. I think Space Dennison. What's up, Void? How you doing, bro?
Void.
All right. I think that's absolutely everybody. If I missed you, I do apologize. I do.
Did you getting things done?
I did. I caught Jay Dunn up there early. Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. And Spry Guy says hello to Mash Mama. Cool. I like that. Nicely done. All right, guys. So we're gonna talk. Betty, I want to talk about you a little bit. Let's talk about Betty Late Than Never. So you've been in the space for a long time. Different in the community, in the VR space, but recently, and you did have your own channel that you did, some content on, from time to time, but you didn't do a whole bunch in it. But recently you decided to start doing a news show every Saturday. Tell us about Betty Late Than Never News.
Well, I think it's every other Saturday now, but because it's just so consuming, but I'm missing that that.
You should do a
every
live. You
day.
should do a recorded show every 2 weeks and do a live show
Mm.
on the off week, and then you don't have to worry about doing a recorded thing. Just come on
Right.
live for like a half hour and just talk news with people.
I just I don't know. My channel started with the PSVR one, and there wasn't a lot of multiplayer games, so I went ahead and started the channel so friends can come and hang out, while I play the game, and that's pretty much what it was. And then excuse me, and then um I don't know. I was just sitting, like, I really wanted to start a show and I didn't have all the stuff. And so little by little, I bought a cheesy camera. I bought this mic. I actually bought the mic when I was doing a voiceover for a game. And then just little things, and then I bought the green screen. And then I just took over my front room, put the green screen up. I said, okay. But I had the Betty Late the Never news in my head and it was on my whiteboard too. And I would write down what I would like to talk about on my whiteboard. And so I stared at that for probably a good 3 months. And finally I just said, screw it, I'm pulling the trigger. Let's go. I mean, there's, PSVR 2's out now. And I just, so I pulled the trigger and did my first one. And I had a coworker who's actually Andrew, the one who did my intro. He is 18 years old.
Nice. He does a really good. He's got a great voice. He's got like a newscaster voice.
It's amazing. He could be the WWF announcer. I mean, he's just freaking amazing. And he did 11 different ones for me. And but I haven't changed it out yet. There's one in there that's kind of comical. They're the same words but different tones. But there's one that's kind of comical where he stops and he's like, I want a show. Where's my show? It goes on.
Nice.
So I figured once I get more seasons, then I'll go ahead and throw that in. But yeah, so Betty Late the Never news is pretty much like he says. It's old, new, or up and coming. I'm probably never, ever going to be on time with the news, or probably will never, ever be on time with my show. But I try to get it in there, and I'm learning as I go,
Yeah, and you're doing great, by the way. I mean, you're funny. There's a couple things I want to hit on that you talked about here. A couple of things. I want to get to your show, and I want to get to you and how you do your show, and I want to get to you about Garden of the Sea and things that you've said about me about Garden of the Sea.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
what I want to talk about first is you mentioned that you've done some voiceovers, and I don't know if a lot of people know you, but I don't know if a lot of people know that you have your voice in in quite a few games.
Just 2.
Well, that's quite a few. That's more than one.
Yeah.
What games do you have your voice in? And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have your voice in an actual game.
Oh my goodness. I feel so bad because I always want to call it Lunar Landing by Strange Games, but I don't think it's called Lunar Landing. Or is it Lunar Landing by Strange Games? But anyway, it's a really cute game. We used to be an old game where you would try to get your spaceship and fly it over, and you're rescuing little guys, and then you have to go and get like more gas so you don't run out of gas and keep going. So I did the lines on that, and then I did some lines in a game in Horizon Worlds.
Awesome Asteroids is the name.
Awesome Asteroids. Thank you. Sorry, it's kind of like Lunar Landing.
Yeah, I knew Tate would come up with it. It's a Strange Games game. I knew Tate would come up with it. Come up with a name. But that's cool, man, that you got your voice in there. That's amazing.
I was so honored. That was like, what? And they're like, yeah, we like to put the game cats in there, and we thought you would be great for this part. And so I was just I was a know-it-all operator, sitting on some ship all dressed out, like with pilot, gear, leather, goggles, pilot hat kind of thing. And she's just like this cute little know-it-all girl. So it was always fun to go into my room and pretend to be that little girl, but a know-it-all. But she's not really a little girl, but she's just like this cute little thing, So it was fun. Yep. And then I did another one for Horizon World. So yeah, a cooking game.
Super cool. You have an amazing voice, and you have a great personality. And I think that kind of like that really comes out when you do the news and when you're talking to, your audience. You do a really good job with it. I think you keep things super funny. I I love the little outtakes that you do at the end where you kind of like make fun of yourself going through your process. It's super funny. It's super like it's chill. It's relaxing. It's your take on news, and it doesn't matter when it comes out. Like, most everybody. I mean, all of us that are in the VR world, we know the news as soon as it drops, right? Like everybody pretty much knows, even stuff that we go over. Everybody already knows about it anyway, but they want to hear what you think about it. They want to hear what I think about it. They want to hear what Dee thinks about it. So it doesn't matter when you drop your news. It's you dropping your opinion about the news. That's interesting, and it's the way you do it, and that's why people want to go watch it.
I have fun doing it. It's fun, and looking up gifts and everything. Sometimes I'll get so sucked into it. 10, 12 hours pass by, and I'm like finally freaking done with a 4-minute video.
Yeah. You know who loves getting sucked into it, Dee?
My mom.
You gotta do the yes, she does.
Yeah, she does.
I need a button. Yeah.
I don't have the button. I don't have any button. I got D.
All
D
right.
is the button today.
I'm the button.
D is the button. So Betty, I think it's a super cool show. You do a really cool thing. Let's talk about Garden of the Sea and your infatuation with this game. How
Dude,
dare you?
It's
How dare
absolutely
you?
great. Okay, I'm going to talk about it.
All right, please.
Okay, really quick. It's if you are just having a really bad day and you want to shut everybody out and they are just like, you just need to go someplace where it's happy.
And
go to
Garden of
the
the
Sea.
Garbage of the Sea is happy?
It is such a great place, and you just you're chilling, and you don't have to wait like multiple hours for things to grow. We have a garden. You get pets. You have these birds that you can throw up in the air, and they go, poof, and they blow up, and they just kind of float away. I also learned if I threw sunflower seeds down on the ground, freaking a flock of birds come. Like every time I go in there, I find something new, and I just hope that it would be really great if they keep updating it. Like with new content, it's super great. And so I started with the Oculus. I liked it on the Oculus, but then I was looking online like YouTube Play, and I noticed that Steam was much, much better. There was things I was missing. I'm like, maybe it is an Oculus and I just didn't play it enough. So then I got the Steam version. Well, it has B haptics.
Oh my God, B haptics for Garbage of the Sea.
So I put on my vest, and it's like one of the best B haptic experiences that you have ever tried. Seriously, I promise.
Yeah.
So like on the boat, there's like a little motor on the back. You ready for this? And
I'm ready.
You know who else likes right?
My mom. Yeah, she does.
She does like motorboating.
But it goes up and down your back, right? And you're chilling on a boat, and you hear just some great music. And sometimes these little animals come jumping out of the water, and it's really cool. And I don't know, I could play for hours. You can even finish the game, but it's still open to play. And then you open up vendors and collect stuff. It's a great game.
Holy moly!
But the only thing on the PSVR 2, because I do own it on all 3 platforms.
I can't believe you own it on multiple platforms, even, which is insane.
Oh. So I wish they would make some plushies with some of these animals. But on the PSVR 2, I really felt like there was a lot of missed opportunities for both haptics and getting trophies. Like you could only get to 10 trophies, and you get them like in the first 5 seconds of the game, it felt like, and like when I'm on the boat, put some face haptics on me. It would be
perfect.
I
mean, what a big miss.
Yeah. That was a big miss on that.
Not giving me face haptics. Oh my God.
So if someone was going to buy a copy of it, then the definitive one would be the Steam.
The one you can throw.
If you have B haptics,
Smash.
if you have a B haptics, absolutely Steam. If not, then the PSVR 1 or 2, because it's just it's comfortable, and I feel like you get and visually it's more beautiful. So
I'll say this now: I would rather play Power Wash Simulator than Garbage of the Sea. It's just not fun for me.
Well, you don't like these kind of things. You don't.
Yeah, but I hate Power Wash Simulator too. But I would rather go into that than Garden of the Sea. I don't know. I'm just not. Mepper says I picked up Garden of the Sea for about $3 during its early access on Steam. Right. It's great at that price as a relaxing game.
Right. If it's on sale, grab it. I'm just put it, and then like I said, if you don't want to talk to anybody, you want to get things off your mind. This is the game.
VR Spry guy says, "Did you see Betty's face when Mash said that?" I said I'd rather go to Power Wash Simulator. Maybe we should talk a little Power Wash Simulator here in a little bit too, because I don't know this. I may have to go back in there and check it out a little bit more. I don't know. It's kind of got me a little bit.
I can't fathom paying $25 for it. I'm sorry. I'll buy it when it's on sale, like $20. But
to Hooked Worm, the Hoosier Gamecast is 2 hours of Beat Saber or 2 hours of garbage. Ooh, this is tough. Probably Garden of the Sea. I'd rather do that.
And he would play for those 2 hours and roll on over to the third.
I don't know. I hate Beat Saber. I hate Beat Saber. You know what I would rather, we should talk some Audica. That's what I would rather go play. I would rather play Audica all day long than Beat Saber. I just wish they would have added, song packs or, different environments or different things.
They're bringing everything else back and freaking redoing movies and shit.
I
Somebody
know.
redo fucking Audica, please.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Void says what Mash is missing is he ain't hitting the doobie before he's playing that game. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I need to be on the pipe and rock and roll on that a little bit, and then I go in there and I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
He's in Florida now, so he has to get the Delta 8.
I know it's no longer legal where I am. So, yeah. All right, guys, let's Betty, what do you think? Let's finish up with Betty Late Than Never. Coming back soon. You got a new episode coming. Is it this weekend or next weekend?
It's this weekend actually, because it was just every weekend it was consuming me, and I would not have any time to decompress, and then I'd go straight back to work again, and it started really kind of getting to me. So now I do it every other week. This Saturday, and I think this Saturday I might go over some of the top 10s that we talked about. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Interesting. You should.
It's so slow right now. Maybe I'll go buy Power Wash. Ooh.
You should definitely go buy Power. It's an investment in your show. Go buy Power Wash. Well, we could co-op it. I'll go in there with you. We'll go out.
Oh, is it a co-op game?
It's co-op, yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's where to me, that's where it actually could be. It could be actually a decent game. If they actually took it like Real VR Fishing or some of the other games where you're allowed to bring YouTube in and you could play music or something, like you play your own music in the game, then it could be cool. Like if you went in there with a friend and you just had some music going and you're just chilling and relaxing and doing the power washing, I think it could be cool. I mean, to me, it would remind me a lot of Real VR Fishing. I don't to me, I don't go into Real VR Fishing for edge of my seat gameplay. I mean, the fishing is fun, but I mean, to me, it's more about hanging with other people and laughing and doing stupid things and joking around and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the cool environments. But I mean, pressure wash is just you could kind of zone out in there. I mean,
so Todd zoned out for 3 hours in this game, right? Is that correct? And
yeah, his brain must be like mush right now.
I mean, something must have hooked him.
He went in there for 3 hours. He had to go on vacation for a week to Vegas to decompress out of that thing.
and Taz is saying don't do it. So
he's saying don't do power wash. Is that
don't
what he's
do
saying?
it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we should go in. I mean, it'd be good for your show. It'd be fun. We go in and make fun of it. It'd be awesome.
VR chat avatars. What is it? Waifu and bikinis. And the power wash each other. Where's Brad?
Nice.
Oh my god.
Virtual Steve says the game was made for Canadians. It very well could be. Very well could be. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe that's all it is.
It's not worth it. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's seriously, I think it has its merits for people that can like it. I mean, there is some issues with it. Forget about the gameplay itself. I mean, there's some issues with the game. It's a little janky here or there, which I'm sure they'll fix and I'm sure they'll take care of. But it's a little weird in a couple spots where it needs to be fixed. The tutorial is terrible. They throw so much shit at you in the tutorial. Everything, I'm pretty sure everything you can learn in the game, they throw at you in one 15-minute, 20-minute tutorial, which is way too much information. It's way too long. They really need to give it to you in pieces. You wouldn't think, a game like Power Wash Simulator would have so much to teach you, but there's so many different things that you can buy and attachments that you can put on and different ways you can move your belt. And they try and teach you this all at one time instead of gradually bringing you in.
Process, yeah.
Yeah, that's the tutorial that I like. Give me a tutorial where the first, 2 missions are part of the tutorial where you're teaching me things as I go, like while I'm playing. Like if you make it feel like it's a chore for me to go through the tutorial, that bothers me. Like and there are going to be some
Because
people
you
that
got to
don't.
remember it, right?
Yeah,
And then you're going into the menu and you're like going into gameplay and go, okay, how do I grab and pour this again? Or yeah, I get you on that. So
yeah,
that's why it goes in steps. You train your brain.
hell yeah.
Don't give it all to me at once.
So let's do it. Go get Power Wash. We'll go in and we'll co-op it, and you can cover it for Betty Late than never.
Okay. All right. And then
Cool.
another thing I think I'm going to do I have some really cool snippets, and I probably should. Two things is No Man's Sky. Kind of want to
Nice.
throw in just a little bit more. I got some really cool snippets of that. Dee, let's go. I have a whole hotel, and you could pick your own room and
Nice.
decorate it yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Hell
It's
yeah.
on the hill. Big giant beetles flying around. It's super
Oh my
sick.
God.
Who doesn't love beetles?
And I'll make you some tarts, some pies.
Ooh.
Some tarts? Well, damn, I'm going now. You got tarts.
Nope.
I did
You know,
a tart.
you know who
and a
loves
chocolate
tarts?
pie.
My mom. Yeah, she does.
Oh, dude, you're doing so good tonight with this. I love it, man. I love
He's
it.
on it.
We may talk a
like
little No
that.
Man's Sky later. Maybe it made somebody's list. The three might have made one of our lists.
May
Possibly.
have, who
Pretty sure it
knows?
did.
Possibly.
And then of course Masquerade, Vampire.
Yeah, Dee, did you get a chance to play Masquerade? And Betty, did you?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
got
I
some
did.
hours in there. Yeah.
You played Masquerade, Vampire Masquerade Justice?
I played it yesterday.
What'd you think, Dee? Doesn't sound like you're too like.
No.
Is it not, let me ask you this: is that type of game your type of game though? Like a very stealthy,
I'll play a
not,
stealth game, dude.
yeah. But you're not loving this one?
No, it wasn't.
You don't like
No. No, that was cool,
the part
like,
of like when you grab somebody
grabbing
by
them
the
in a-
back of the head and you like pull their neck towards you and you're like
Right.
freaking the blood gushes up into your face as you do it. That's pretty cool.
I played it yesterday, but I've played so much. I tried to get so much PSVR games in between yesterday and today just to, refresh everything, and I completely forgot what I didn't like about Vampire Masquerade, but
was it the rats?
No, it wasn't even the rats.
Was it the rats? Is that what you said?
I forgot what exactly it was.
It wasn't the teleport, because if in your brain you just keep telling yourself I'm
No, that was one of the coolest things. Like,
okay, yeah.
With the smoke and freaking attacking guys, and that part was cool. Yeah, exactly.
We have a couple of people sneaking in here. Chrome Colossus has stopped in. Brycub 2 has stopped in, and Dipped and Stupid has stopped in,
I love that.
as well as Typical Kiwi. I don't think I said hi to earlier. So
Dipped
and then
and
D,
Stupid, that's
I did miss D1360 VR. D1360 VR stopped in earlier too. I missed that one. But Dipped and Stupid, I like that name. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, what would you call him if you're playing a game? Would you
Dipped?
call him Dip or Stupid? Like
both?
Or we
like
could
both.
just call him Stew.
Stew's good.
Stewart, look what I can do.
Do it.
Escape Portal says it's the verticality of Vampire that makes the game great, and that it is that because there's not many games. There is going to be a game coming that's going to be coming out soon, which is going to be Assassin's Creed Nexus, where you can do a lot of rooftop maneuvers like this. But to me, I mean, it is the verticality. It's the way you move through this environment that I absolutely love. Like that jump that you're talking about. We all hate teleport, but when you use it as a not as a form of movement, because you can just free loco normally, but you use it as a power up or use it as one of your powers as a vampire to like evaporate and then come into smoke and then arrive at another spot.
There's a purpose to it. When it's not just okay, move me here, move me there, and
yeah,
flash that. It makes sense in this game.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I love it. I don't feel like I'm teleporting with this because I can do free locomotion when I'm not using it, and when I need it to jump to certain spots or do an attack move, they actually use the teleport as an attack move. I think it's great. Like, this is I think this is one of the best games this year. I think this has a chance. I mean, I think Vampire Masquerade Justice has a chance. It will be in the conversation or could be in the conversation for Game of the Year. I mean, I think it's that type of quality game. I haven't made it all the way through yet. I don't know if there's a lot of people who have, but I'm pretty sure it's fairly deep. I'm looking
The
forward to
cool.
like
I
finishing it.
definitely
ahead,
want to
please.
get into it a little bit more because I only made it through, I think, the beginning part, and then I got out of the tunnels and then I stopped. I do
Once you
want to
get
get in
past
there and
that
get more
point,
of the
though.
upgrades and stuff.
hmm
I'm not done with it, but
No. But what's really cool though, that helps with that teleport because some people are like maybe don't like it or whatever, but it does feel like because bats or not bats, but vampires do that. They can turn into bats and fly away and then land
Mhm.
someplace, right? So, but what's nice is the NPCs are in there and they're like, yeah, he's really super quick. He's so stealthy,
Mhm.
so it gives that mechanic more credit. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they have like you talked about the NPCs. The voice acting of the NPCs, I think, is spot on. It's really good.
Oh
It's
yeah.
when you can tell when a studio uses their own developers or their own team to do the voice acting, or when they actually go out and get paid actors and paid voice actors to come out and do something. It just sounds so much better. And when you hear the NPCs talking, sometimes it's a little cheesy, but I think they do a really good job. I think the narrator's voice of the character that you're using, I think he does that voice is really, really good telling the story. So, this game, if you want to feel like a vampire in VR, this game absolutely does that. It makes you feel powerful when you get things right. Like you can screw things up real easy too when you start like fumbling around with all these things and you fall from a ledge and you're like, oh damn! And all of a sudden you got four of these guys, shooting at you and you're dead in seconds. But when
Second.
yeah, but when you do it right and you sneak up on a guy and you just take him out like no, quickly, no worries, and then you can jump to the next person, take them right out, and then you can like there's all kinds of different powers that you can use. There's like this blood grab where you kind of grab them from a distance and you drain their blood out from a distance. There's this like demon
oh yeah, I
portal.
have
Did you
not
guys
that
use the
far.
demon portal, or you throw the portal on the ground and the demons come up out of the
Oh
portal
yeah.
and
Okay,
yank them
I'm
down
gonna have to
into
put
the?
some more time into this
Oh,
because
Yeah,
bet
yeah,
you
D,
do.
you have to. The
So
demon portal is so cool.
what
yeah.
I'm very curious about, and maybe we should do a poll or a show of hands, I don't know, but how many of us, when we're yanking and bringing them in, are you, I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
you
brought it
open
cannot
as a
open
help but
yeah, are you opening your
I
mouth?
can, yeah, it's like,
Did you do that when you were eating the rats too?
yeah, the
Did
rats,
you
I'm
bring
like,
Yeah,
it was more like a corn cup.
yeah. Nice. D was getting into it, killing her. That's one of the things is when you use your vampire powers, you quickly drain your special abilities so you can like really run out and then you can't use your powers anymore. So if there's no enemies around for you to kind of drink their blood and gain your strength back, you have to like go through and kill all these little rats that will give you little hits of power. They don't give you
Right.
much. They give you a tiny little bit, but enough to keep
Mhm.
you going because you need those powers to make it through the levels. And I do like that you can get through the level in different ways. So they will reward you for going through and being stealthy and not killing anybody. They'll reward you for not taking any damage. They'll reward you for not being seen or spotted in any way. I think there's some really cool elements to this game, and I think it's one of the better games we've seen this year.
Guess who just snuck in? Oh my
Whoa,
God, two of
virtual
them snuck in.
virtual strangers and Tycho Tech. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Wait,
We got Wes
oh,
is here.
and
Holy shit, it's Betty, says Skiva. What's up, Skiva? How you doing, man?
Oh my
Betty's here
God.
because she's kind of a PlayStation OG, and we wanted Betty. Number one, if we're gonna replace Todd, let's replace him with somebody awesome like Betty. But number two, I want to hear her thoughts on PlayStation because she's kind of an OG PlayStation person. So
That's
that's
what
what I
I
want to hear.
started on. Well, I actually started on those cheesy freaking ones for your phones.
Oh,
First,
did you? Yeah, you had
first I
like
bought like
the
one that
Gear
was
VR.
$20. Yeah, I don't even know. And then I bought another one that was like $30 and it looked really beefy like a headset or maybe it was 60, I don't know, but it was crap. And I told my daughter and she's like, "No, mom, everybody says it's horrible." I said, "Listen." I said, "It can't be any worse than these three pieces of craps that I got." And that all totaled what this is. So I'm getting this. And I walked out and my first one was the one that plugged in the middle, the first version of it.
Yep.
And it had the plug in the middle.
Yep. I think we've all had our experiences with like the cheaper end of virtual reality. You know, when you can get through those things and you still want more, because even people who started with like those, or like, you know, the Google Cardboard, or, you know, some of those things. I mean, even though they were kind of crappy and they were a little cheesy, I mean, the fact that we were like, I want more. This is kind of cool. It's still kind of cool, and I want more. And then that kind of propelled you into other things. I
It
mean, I
was a
think that.
dinosaur one that made me want more on the phone in one
Oh,
of those.
really? Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a dinosaur one, and it was janky as all get up. But I'm like, you know. And then this guy at work, he's talking, and he has like a banging PC, and he's talking about buying the new index valve, you know,
Mm.
the new index, and I it was like $1,000 or something. Then you had to have a smoking PC, and I couldn't afford that. I'm like, well, shit, I can't. So but I do have a PlayStation. So,
All right, guys, hold on. My daughter has been bugging me all night. She's all decked out in Q2C VR gamer stuff, and she wants to say goodnight.
yes.
She had to grab the Beat Saber cubes.
Charlie,
All right.
keep those away from
Charlie.
your father.
An OG
Get them
hat,
away.
too. OG hat. Nice job.
Nice.
All right. Good night. We'll see you later. Oh, and she wants me to show
Charlie.
the bracelet again. She's got these Q2C bracelets.
Oh yeah.
Where's my
Oh, yeah.
bracelet? Now that she's here,
She
where's
wants you to
mine?
make her one, like Dee said right now. And she said that you better do it or she's going to spank you.
Oh.
All right, go to bed. Sorry, everybody. She has been here the entire show. She's been here in the entire show, and she keeps coming out with more Q2C garb on. Like, can I get on? I'm like, okay, all right. You put the hat on. I'll bring you on. Too funny.
Cute.
That's too funny. But yeah, she's all over these bracelets. She wants to make all these Q2C bracelets. I'm like, all right, bracelets are coming, everybody. I promise. Yeah, too funny. Betty, let's talk about some other things. Let's talk about Mother Gunship Forge. Dee,
yes.
you have known of the amazing game that is Mother Gunship Forge for a long time.
Oh yes.
We have been in. We've played it since it came out.
Steam and on.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like I said, like Betty said, like a couple of weeks ago, we were playing Dungeons of Eternity, which we'll talk a little bit about that too, because we're having so much fun in that game. But we were in there, and I'm like, Betty, let's go do a couple rounds of Mother Gunship Forge, because I've kind of like gotten myself back into it. Like I stopped playing it for a long time because I've been busy, but I just like playing Mother Gunship Forge just to relax. So like last night, I was like, Betty, I just need to like blow some steam off. I need to get in and have some fun. Let's go do a couple of runs in Mother Gunship Forge. Well, that was the same thing that night. I'm like, Betty, I just want to go in and play. I said, let's go, because you said you'd never been in. And she's like, well, I don't own it. I'm like, well, now you do. Let's go. Here's the key. Let's go.
Right.
And you got in there and you were like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. And then you got in there, and the absurdity of these guns, and then, you know, doing these amazing runs and these, you know, crazy levels. I mean, tell us about your first experience in the Forge.
Oh, I'm still a little clumsy with it when it comes to upgrading, but when I got the bowl of ramen, I'm like, what the hell is this, a bowl of ramen?
They are so inventive with all their connectors and parts, aren't they?
So fun. And
there's a peanut butter and jelly attachment too that does something freaking awesome.
It's the jelly, but not jelly. And it's got a piece of toast in there that says not jelly or not grape jelly or something. I don't know. There's little comical things in there. And there's different themes. You have your winter theme. You have now your spooky Halloween. What is it? Gory? No, what's the Halloween?
Spooky. Yeah, they do it. So what's cool is they kind of like up their game with it in, you know, during the Halloween time. But all year long, you can still get the spooky attachments, which is cool, because when you get the attachments, when you get multiple of the same theme of attachments, you get bonuses the more you have on your weapons.
And then I had a legendary one that upgraded all of my stuff on my weapon to the next level tier up, which was pretty sick.
Like, there's so many different things that you can get. Like I played this game a shit ton. There are still attachments, because it tells you if you've never actually obtained that attachment before. Because like you have a choice, right? And you don't always pick the same thing. So there are attachments that I'm like, holy shit, it says I've never obtained this attachment before, or I've never seen it. And I'm like, holy crap. I mean, or this gun. I mean, there's different types, and there's different connectors, and then there's different perks you can get, and there's different weapons.
But as you upgrade, isn't that opening more attachments? Because I swore when we finished the game last night, I said I saw something about a cheeseburger. I've never had a cheeseburger on my gun.
Oh, I don't know. I see there's another one. I haven't seen the cheeseburger one. Hooked Worm, the Hoosier Game Cat says, any chance Mother Gunship comes to PlayStation? Oh, dude, I would freak out. Mother Gunship
The
Forge.
I would buy
haptics
it
and the
on there.
freaking control. Oh
You
my
could do the
lamp.
trick
That's
with
a
the
good one.
adaptive
That'd be
triggers.
great.
You could do stuff with the face haptics.
Oh, the
You could
face haptics would be so
the
sick.
the colors of Mother Gunship Forge, because it's a very
Oh,
colorful game. The
right.
colors in the OLED lenses of the PlayStation VR 2 would be freaking amazing. It would be killer. Like that is to me. And number one, I hope they're working on it. I should reach out to this team and see what they're doing.
You
And
should.
maybe I will, and maybe I'll see if I can get an update for you guys on this, because that is something that they absolutely should be doing. Like, to me, this is a game that screams PlayStation VR 2, but don't just give me like the Quest port. Make sure you use the PlayStation VR 2 power and everything it has to make, give me a Zombieland Headshot Fever port. Give me a Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge port. Don't give me Green Hell port. You know what I mean? Don't give me that. Or don't give me a lazy port of just bringing the game. Or now I would just love that. I mean, because the game itself is great. I mean, you could just port it, but I don't want that. You know what I mean? I want Mother Gunship Forge, but I want everything that I could get with the PlayStation is also. Take
I
advantage
agree.
of it. And this team would, because this team, they go way above and beyond. Like, they're still
They're so
putting updates in
creative.
this game. They just did a Quest 3 update. So already they have an update just for the Quest 3. So now the graphics in this now, I don't know if you've been in with the Quest 3 yet. It looks as
haven't.
good as Steam. It really does. It
good.
looks as good as Steam now. And to me, I almost can't tell the difference between the two versions. So
I think
they've-
I think his streaming just made it look really super cracky. To me, it just looks like some cheesy like Space Invader game when he would play it online.
This
and
is a
I'm
game that
just like,
doesn't translate well to when you're watching it flat. If
no.
you're watching it, like if you're watching somebody stream it, and you've never been in it before, that it doesn't give you a good representation of what it feels like to be in the game. Especially when one of these freaking dog monsters comes at you from a side that you're not watching, and all of a sudden, it'll make you jump out of your seat or jump out of your skin if you're standing. Which I don't even know how. Do you play this seated, D, or Betty? How do you guys play?
Yeah, it's play seated.
I have tried to play it seated. I don't do anywhere near as good when I play it seated. I have to be kind of standing.
Really?
Yeah, because I move around with my thumbstick a lot, but I can duck better when I'm standing, and I can kind of move my head around because it's all head based with the collision, right? Like your body can get hit by anything; it doesn't matter as long as your head or where the headset is doesn't get hit by it. So you can dodge. It's just like pistol whip. You can dodge anything with your head, and you can. I mean, literally, I have been in these things where I've been on my knees, down on my stomach, trying to avoid all of these, huge projectiles coming at you. Absolutely crazy. It's one of my
The
favorite
other thing
games.
that's kind of cool, D, about the I don't know if you did this yet in there, but you can let's say we're putting our new piece on our gun, right? I have an extra slot, but Eric doesn't. But Eric can give me whatever extra piece he has, and I could put it on my gun. We tried it one time and it didn't work. I don't know what reason why.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it was a little janky there or something.
Yeah,
That
but
game
then
doesn't
last
have
night we
jank.
did it, and it was the first time I got hit. He gave me one of his pieces.
Yeah, one of the times that we were playing, I got this, and this, and the upgrade. And well, I got that, and that. Well, let's switch. I could use that, and we can use that. So we just swapped.
Yeah, and that's what's great too, because we talked about like if you use the same type of attachment, like a spooky attachment, or the same theme, the winter one or the spooky
Winter
one,
attachment.
or
I like
if
the
you can
cozy.
if Betty is working on a ton of spooky themed attachments and I get one, I can give her that attachment so she can actually keep it going and keep leveling up, and because you're helping each other, it makes sense for it's a teammate thing, so it makes sense for you to help other people. And like if she needs a special attachment, or if she needs another or if I need a new connector because I don't have any room, you know what I mean. And that's what and that's just the endless mode, or the co-op endless mode. What when you're in the main mode, you can go into like the stores and you can share what you have, or what I mean, you can buy, unlock things and hit the share button, and then the other person they can actually buy the things that you see in the store and not just the things that they see. So there's a lot of like the co-op works really, really well of helping each other out. Like you feel it's not just like you're side by side and not interacting at all. You don't feel like one affects the other. Literally, you depend on your partner so much in this game.
It's a great game.
It is.
It really is. I like it a lot. Echo in the Future said there's a flat predecessor, Mother Gunship Forge, called Tower of Guns. Who would want to play it flat though?
No, that would not be fun.
It would not be fun. I mean, the whole part of this is
That
like
game's
the amazing craziness of how big these weapons get on your hand. I mean, like you build out these monstrosities of weapons, and I mean, me and Betty were like, we in between rounds after we had died, we were like, you get to like look at your weapon at the end,
right, and then favorite it or something.
Yeah, I mean, we're just like both of us are walking up to like our weapons and just taking a look at these huge monstrosities of weapons. I mean, you get they're so big at some point if you don't build them properly, they can obstruct your view. You can't see any of the enemies anymore.
Right. Right. Or that one, there's this one that just like moves constantly on your gun, and it's about like this big, like the size of a soccer ball, and it goes to the side of your gun. And when it's moving, you constantly you're thinking, oh my God, there's something by me. There's something by me, but it isn't. It's part of your freaking gun. I've gotten killed several times because of that. I'm never gonna pick that one again. Although it was a good one.
I just don't know how much more I can say about this game other than that I still love it. It's a game it's been out over a year. I'm still playing it now. Like there's so much stuff to play out there right now that I love, but I'm still going back into it just again as a palate cleanser. Like we always, we've been jumping in a lot to Dungeons of Eternity, and I think we'll jump to that a little bit now. But like we're, even playing Dungeons of Eternity, which I absolutely love, I'm still like, well, let's go to Mother Gunship Forge for a round or two, because I just love it so much. But Dungeons of Eternity is another one that's kind of grabbed me, and it's grabbed a lot of people in the community. Betty, what do you think?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it just now someone just pinged, or I saw Void going, DOE hit me up.
Right now?
I mean,
how dare you?
I was playing that before I got in here, man.
Were you really?
Right?
Yeah.
What level are you
with
now?
me and Michelle, and Spry.
She pinged me today.
I did. Yeah.
And I was like, up here.
14, 15 now.
Nice, you're getting there. You were like 6 last time me and you played.
I just picked up a unique crossbow that's got like 18 damage on it with some other.
You and Wes love the ranged weapons. Like you and Wes are like crossbow and bow people.
Love it.
That's why you love In Death so much, I think, right? Because you love the crossbow.
Oh, and speaking of In Death, okay, if anybody has or has not seen this, there's a Quest 3 update coming.
Ooh,
nice. I mean, Dungeons of Eternity is one of the, like, I voted for it did I don't think it won the other night. The other night we did Virtual Strangers game of the month, and I think Genotype ended up winning for game of the month, but I voted for Dungeons of Eternity. It was a good month. It was like there was some tough decisions for game of the month, and I love Genotype. Like I've been really digging Genotype. I've been into it several times. I'm probably halfway maybe through the game so far. It's got a very much of a BioShock type feel to it. It's really well done. But to me, I mean, I don't know, to me, the quality of the games is equal between the two. But when you add multiplayer, it brings things to another level. Like, what do we always ask? Like every game that we love, we're like, oh man, that was great. Can the devs bring multiplayer to it and make it better? Because when you can get in there with other people, it's amazing. Like even now, I'm like in there with 3 people, and I'm like, man, I wish it was 4 people. We could get one more person in here, because it's that much of a cool thing. And I just love going in there and hanging out with other people, and then battling in these dungeons. Betty, some of these bosses,
right? But if they added one more person in it, like the dynamics of the game is going to have to totally change. I wouldn't even want to be on that end if we had to add another player, because there's so much math to that.
Absolutely.
But what was your question?
I was just saying, some of the bosses in here are pretty damn amazing. Just battling some of these huge weapons, and we'll say hey to Gamertag VR has stopped in. What's up, Gamertag? How you doing, man?
Hey, GT.
I wish we should get into some Gamertag. We should get into some Dungeons of Eternity. We're just gonna hang out and have some fun.
I'm just laughing when Mash, he came to play with me. I think I was like level 24, 25 at the time, and so the big blob with all the eyeballs above him.
I was level 2,
and he's like level 2, and I die, and he's like, and we were in the chat, so on the Oculus chat, so you can't hear what he's saying, but he's just crying the whole time. Oh my god, Betty! Oh my god, Betty! How do I kill this thing, Betty? Oh my god! Oh my god!
We're in a level 24 dungeon because she's level 24. This is my first time playing the game. I'm level 2, and all of a sudden she's dead. Now I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what? I'm running around. Look at this huge boss with all these eyes shooting fire at me. He's like right up my ass. I'm running as fast as I can and shooting fireballs. I'm like, Betty, help me. What do I do? Where do I go? I'm like, I can't even. I can't even. The guy is so like right on me, like, and he will like chomp on your ass if he gets too close. And he's like so up on me. And I'm like, where do I go? I can't even hit him. I'm like, what do I do? And I kited this dude for like 10 minutes. It felt like just running around the level. And finally, I ducked out and he killed me. And I'm like, oh man. But just during that process, number one, Betty laughed through the entire thing. But number two, right there, the game grabbed me. I'm like, this is fun.
When I was dead, it's like black and white, right? And so to me, it was like a black and white movie. And I'm just watching the little, and everything was kind of sped up a little bit in a black and white movie.
Like Benny Hill.
It would have been class if he had my audio in there, because literally I'm screaming like a little girl. I'm like, help me, Betty.
I'll clip that part. Oh, I think I sent you the video of that, just of that alone.
You did.
Yeah, I need to clip that and put that on my.
Yep. It was a good video, and it's an excellent game, and I think it did make Wes is in chat. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it Dungeons of Eternity did make runner-up or honorable mention for for number 2 of game of the month for Quest, and I think it deserved it. I think it deserves like I'm a little nervous about the game, as probably is everybody, because I'm worried about level cap. I'm worried about what happens when you hit level cap, like. It is going to take some time. I'm sure there's Betty, you must have 50, 60, 70 hours in it so far.
Yeah, I'm level 36 now, right?
Yeah.
I think level 36 the other night. Yeah, I have some hours in it. I am a little concerned. I mean, right now, content is decent.
Still dungeons I haven't seen yet. Like
but I mean, they could work a little bit more on the costumes or whatever, because the gear. That's worthless, actually, but because I got this one gear, it was the same exact thing, but the shoulders were different, and I'm like, okay, guys, this is lazy. All right, this would not fly where I work at, and yes, we make video games too, so I could say that, and that would not fly. You don't just change the shoulder pads, and it's just everything is really muddy. It's not super, like, I don't know who's doing the art over there or whatever, but I think it could use a little TLC on that part, because it just seems like it's muddy. It looks like we're getting the same thing over and over and over.
What I think is, go ahead, Dee.
No, I was just gonna say, one thing that I want, I get stuff during the raid, or whatever. Get back, I don't know what I got.
Right.
Give me some kind of notification system saying, hey, you got something new in this section here.
Exactly.
Or something
when
new
you're
here, because
put a star by it.
They should, like, if you got a new headgear or something, it should have a star next to it and said new item or something.
Star. Like every game has that. On the main category, colors, like skin colors, you're going to have a star there. You're going to drill down into it, and it's going to, like Dee said, have a yellow or
just something
or the star or a star on that. I mean, that's common UI, sense right there. I don't know how they got away with that.
It is a good game, and I think what is good about it, and the things that you're saying, Betty, is there are lots of things that they can continue to add to it.
Yeah.
So, that's the main positive. If they're a good team, which I do think they are.
Yes.
If they have the wherewithal, and I think they've done well enough now that they will have enough, funding to keep going. There's easy stuff they can add here to keep people involved. Like they're like a level cap system. Like I've been talking about, since I started talking about this game. Have it be like Call of Duty, like have it be or something like that. So when I hit level cap, have it open up epic dungeons to where you can't get them until you level hit. So if level is 40 or 50 and something like that, if that's level cap, then have that open up something special where I have to kind of like I go through these hard ass dungeons now where I really need to get the best gear, and I really have to get like, give me more, more powerful weapons to find and things to keep me going. You know what I mean? So, and I think they
Better
will.
female characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Everybody wants better female characters. Arlen Kunder did say something that I kind of agree with, and that's what I'm kind of talking about here with, talking about, Dungeons of Eternity. He says multiplayer changes things so much in my honest opinion, because playing with your friends is everything. Doing things with people you care about really is one of those things that makes life worth living. And it's not that way for everybody, but it is for a lot of people. And
But you can't just add multiplayer to a shit game and
Agreed.
expect it to polish it up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You're just gonna have a polished piece of shit.
Yep.
Cell's getting multiplayer now.
Well, yeah, I mean, because look at and again, not everybody has the same opinion about this game, but my opinion about this game, which is Ghostbusters, is one of those things where it's multiplayer only,
Still haven't
and the multiplayer is not the gameplay for me is not good enough with Ghostbusters to get me to want to go back. And I love Ghostbusters. I am a huge fan of the whole IP of Ghostbusters. I grew up with this. I
I'm
grew
playing it on Atari, dude.
exactly.
Come
I
on.
grew up with the
Oh my
movies. I
gosh,
grew
I
up with the
totally forgot about that, Dee.
cartoons. I grew up with everything Ghostbusters. I wanted Ghostbusters to be freaking amazing, and to me, it's kind of lackluster. And like, as much as I want to keep going back into Dungeons and Eternity, is as little as I want to go back into Ghostbusters because it doesn't have the same hook. And that's where I think a campaign would have maybe helped it, because the multiplayer is kind of fun, but it's boring and monotonous to me. And then there is no campaign. So there's nothing for me to go back to if I don't want to play with somebody. So, while I think multiplayer can add a lot to a game, if you sometimes only do multiplayer, it can definitely hurt a game, because I think there's not enough there to go back to.
Yeah.
All right, guys, why don't we do this? Let's talk about Stride Fates real quick, and then I want to go into Demeo Battles, because Dee, I know
Is
you
this
have.
where I turn my camera off right here?
I know, because Betty didn't get a chance to play Stride Fates. We're not going to talk about it a lot.
Why?
It just hit today. But
Why didn't I have time? Because
why didn't you have
yesterday
time?
was my only day to do it. And what did we do? Mother Gunship and DOE. Or no, we didn't even touch DOE.
We didn't even do.
So it's Mash's fault.
Yes, it
that you
was.
didn't
Exactly.
play.
It's always my fault.
Okay.
It's always my fault.
Yeah.
Dee, you got into to Stride Fates. What do you now? Let me ask you this before we get into this. Did you play Stride, the original?
Nope.
Okay. So you've never tried? Have you tried? You've never tried it or anything like that? So you had? Okay.
Nope.
So all right. So tell us about.
Is this gonna make me go back and try it?
No, because
nope.
Probably not, because I think this is, if you wanted more from Stride, this is it. But if you don't like the movement or the moving in Stride, I don't think this will help you at all to go backwards to the other game. But tell us about your experience in Stride.
It wasn't a matter of I didn't. Oh my god, where do I start, dude?
I don't know. I think we had very different experiences in Stride.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. But I want to hear what you have to say first. I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so you have the option to switch off the way you jump. You get that option to choose the simplify, where you just hit the button, or you do some kind of movement with your controllers.
With your arms, yeah. Yep.
Right. Okay, so then why is there no option second option to run? You just have to. No.
What's that again, Dee? Can you tell? How's that go?
Run. You gotta run.
Yeah, I mean, I am not a huge fan of that movement style, but I do have to say, of the games that do that, this one doesn't make you run like that as much as some of the others do. Like you really you don't have to like really throw your arms around like crazy to get yourself to run fast. You can kind of just do the movement like a slow movement, and it'll get you going pretty fast. But I get what you mean. I get what you mean about that.
Yeah.
That movement's not for everybody.
But just give me the option. You give me the option to do it with the jump. Give me the option to do it with the running, dude. I can push down the left thumbstick. Dude, oh my god, that pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either. I'm see, and here's where maybe if you're more used to it in Stride already, if you've played Stride and you're more used to it there, this just because this basically is Stride with a campaign and with a story and then more fleshed out gunplay and but the Stride movement is pretty amazing. How far did you get? Did you get to like where you're parkouring
I
and like running along walls and
Yes, I almost gave up after that first, the tutorial,
Mhm.
okay? I almost didn't give it that second mission,
Really?
but I did. Dude, it was yeah, no, it was bad, okay? So, when you get that one part where it teaches you to, um, duck down, grab the knife, sneak up behind someone,
Yep.
I did that, stood up, grabbed the guy with my left hand, stabbed him with the right, but my left hand stayed on his shoulder. I went 2 floors that way, my arm stretched 2
Oh,
floors
no,
that
no.
way. Dude, so
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you might have been on an older version too, which they've already updated, because the version that we had access to early, was not the same version that they launched today. So a lot of the
I just updated it
Oh, did you update it today?
today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you had to go to you had to make sure you were on the live, and not the early access version that we had. You had to
Did I have to
you had to manually
choose that before
yeah,
I
you had to manually switch it over, but yeah, just I'm just saying, just you might wanna check that if you wanna try and go back in. Just check that, make sure you're on the
I
right
don't know.
version. I get it, it's not for everybody, but I'm telling you, this game is so much fun. There's so much like, to me, I actually I thought Stride itself was pretty good. I thought it was okay. Like, it was more of like a sandboxy, go from point A to point B, try and like time trials. There was no cohesive story involved. There was no campaign. It was pretty basic. It wasn't Mirror's
Yeah.
Edge. Like, I wanted Mirror's Edge in VR. We all did when we first saw the original trailer for Stride. We were like, man, this is going to be Mirror's Edge in VR. And when we got there and there was no campaign, no story, nothing amazing that kind of blew you away in that way, we all saw the movement mechanics, we saw the parkour, we saw some of the shooting. We're like, I get what they're doing here. I get what they're going for, and it's super cool. But we've all been asking for this. Give me the campaign. Give me what you've been promising from the beginning, and they finally did do that. They paid off with a full blown story campaign. Super cool. Makes you feel like a badass. Being able to go, like, when you get good at moving through the environment, you will feel like a badass because you can run. You can when you go, you can go really fast through the environments when you start wall running and then sliding under objects and then jumping down and in the air do the slow motion and start shooting the enemies with they give you a little slow motion effect that you can use. It is freaking awesome. It makes you feel like a complete badass. um
Now, see, I wish I would have known that I had to manually switch this because the experience I had, I kind of don't want to go back into it and give it another shot after
yeah,
that.
I think you should. I
You
think there's
know?
more here for you to get, and this
Ugh,
is one of those games where it's the the controls are fairly easy to get into. There's a lot of movement things that you have to learn, but
right.
once you get good at them, it's easy enough for it to pick it up, but it's like when you have to give it some time to like really get really good at them, which is good because it's a challenge for you. Like, you have to, like, part of the movement is part of the challenge of the game, not just the enemies that you have to battle. So the environment is actually a part of the game, moving through the environment. And when you get really good at it, it's so satisfying when you can parkour from
Yeah.
one side to the other. It's super cool. What do you guys think in chat? What's everybody saying in chat? Who's played Stride Fates in chat, and what does everybody need? Tass says he still needs to play Stride Fates. Go get it, bro. Go get it. It's super good. Let's see. Skiva says everyone with a headset needs to play this game. He said Stride Fates is awesome. Too
I'm just
funny.
thinking, and I really
Wow, Skiva says one of my
I'm gonna have
favorite
to
games
forget
of
about it for a
2023.
week
It's in my top
before I
3.
go back into it.
Wow.
Wow, nice.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
guys, me with Joyway. I've had my issues with Joyway. I think they're one of the best studios out there, but I mean, they've had some, like, for me, they've killed a couple of games that I was in love with, and then then they finally came out with Dead Hook, which was like a reimagining of Outlier, which is one of my favorite games, and I just love when they do these things. I love Against, but I have had an issue with Stride for a long time because they didn't give us what they kind of promised and what we asked for, and now they have. So if you are a person that were like, Stride was cool, but I wanted the campaign, now is now is it. Like, to me, I think they've given us everything that they needed to. Go in and play it because it's here now for you. Like, it's got a full-blown campaign. I like the story so far. I am not all the way through it, but I like the story so far. I think it's got a cool atmosphere. The voice acting is really good, D. I thought the voice acting was good with your companion and the guy that you're using. I thought that was cool.
Okay.
He's just
That
not
makes a
happy.
difference.
Dude, I just I'm trying to pep talk myself into going back into it, but seriously,
Well,
dude, it was horrible.
yeah.
But I just gotta forget about it for a week. Let the saltiness die down a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe I'll give it a try.
There's a lot of fun to be had here. There really is. I mean, and like I said, once you get good at it, you're going to have a blast. It's just there's so much you can do here with this game.
Okay.
The movement reminds me of like Hellsweeper. We talk about Hellsweeper all the time and how amazing you feel with that game being able to flip around and wall run and do all these things. Joyway has nailed the movement in here. Like, I know you don't like the run thing, D, but I mean, the whole way you can kind of slide under things, the wall run, the
Right.
grabbing
I
ledges
like
and
the
the
fact that you
jumping.
can like duck down yourself to
Yeah.
get under some stuff,
Yep.
but
I like the whole slow
like
motion part of it.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you actually have a button that you can hit that will allow you this little kind of like slow-mo option to like slow like a bullet time almost to slow things down. Super cool.
Right. The focus.
Yeah, the focus. Yeah, super cool. All right, that is Stride. And D, I think you need to give it a more of a chance.
Well, I need to play the right version of
Yes,
it,
play the right version.
you know?
Play the right version.
So yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
another game landed today, and I don't know if you guys played this game or not, but we're gonna show a little bit of the trailer because it's pretty damn amazing. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And then we're gonna show a little interview we got. But let's take a look at the trailer first of this amazing game that drove out today.
Welcome to my arena of hellfire. In here, no one plays nuns. Two sides enter, but only one side can survive. Let the battle commence!
Time for battle. Guardian ready.
Shall we do this?
Feel the burn!
That is
That
freaking
looks sick.
super cool. It's so good, man. Demeo Battles drops today. Have either of you had a chance to jump in yet?
Not yet. No, I pretty much got off work, took a shower, got here.
It's so good. So I've been testing this game for over a year. I've tried it. I tried it, we went to Austin last year, we tried it. It's one of those things where they've been working on it for a long, long time. I mean, Demeo is amazing. We all love, what Demeo is that, that 4-player, you go into this hard ass dungeon that can take you 2, 3, 4 hours to get through. But they've taken that whole entire thing and like turned it on its head, and they've made these amazing, 1v1 or 2v2 matches that are, super quick. You can get through them pretty fast. They don't take a ton of time. They basically force you into battle by using like a burn that they'll call that we'll talk about later. It's anything that you ever like. Number one, if you always thought, I want to battle my friends in Demeo and see who's better, strategy wise. But I hate how long Demeo takes. They have like given you everything you want here. Like they've addressed absolutely everything. Guys, I mean, are you like really excited to do this? I mean,
Yeah,
are
I
you huge
am. I
Demeo
am
I'd like to
fans?
try it.
pretty
Yeah.
stoked about it, and I'm curious. Is this just on Oculus, or is it Oculus or Quest, or is it Steam, Quest, and
Everywhere.
PSVR too?
Yeah, even flat. So
How about
because
PSVR too?
I don't think it's Skiva PSVR2. Skiva's out there in chat. Is it PSVR2? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I know it
I
is.
didn't.
It is Steam. It is
Mhm.
on Quest. It is coming for Pico soon,
Mhm.
but not yet. PlayStation VR2. I don't know. I don't think it's yet for PlayStation VR2, but I definitely Steam, definitely Quest. It is cross-play. I actually played it tonight right before the show. I jumped in with myself and Jasmine and Wise from VR Central. We jumped in and we didn't have 4. We only had 3, but it was cool because you can still do that where one person who's going to be, kind of by themselves can get 2 moves and they can choose 2 characters. So it was
Nice.
myself and Jasmine against Wise from VR Central, and we battled it out, and it was pretty even. He won the first match, we won the second match. I mean, literally, we went through 2 matches in about a half an hour, maybe 40
Oh,
minutes
wow.
tops. So they're like 15, 20-minute,
Oh, that sounds like
matches,
so
which
fun.
are pretty quick.
Nice.
So much fun. Yeah, no, I'll totally get it. If I get it though, I probably want to get it on Steam.
It looks beautiful. So I've played it a couple of different ways. I've played it on Quest, which it looks absolutely amazing. But if you have a PC, I mean, looking at this game, it looks so good. I mean,
You have more particles.
yeah. Oh, the all the effects look cool for
Mhm.
Steam. For PC VR. The poison has this green gas that comes off of it with all these vapors, and it just looks so cool in PC VR. The flames on like the torches or the fire lamps looks amazing. In
Mhm.
PC VR, and just some of those things like that. The characters themselves are so detailed, but it does look absolutely great in on the Quest as well. So I mean, if you're only playing it that way, don't worry, it's completely fine. It looks amazing. Demeo Battles is pretty damn awesome. And if you haven't,
I'll pick that one up tonight then before I do Power Wash.
hell yeah,
That's the one.
yeah,
I
100%. If you have a choice between Power Wash and Demeo Battles, you're going Demeo Battles every time. I mean, I know I told you to go buy Power Wash, but you skip Power Wash, go get Demeo Battles. Here's what you do: get a refund for Garbage of the Sea, and then you can go buy Power
Ah,
Wash.
No, I will invest in garbage. If there's another headset I'd like Pico. Yeah,
Oh,
if I had
there
a
you go.
Pico, I would
Yeah,
buy
yeah. I
Garbage
wonder
of the
if it's
Sea
on
on there.
Pico.
For
We should
sure.
find that out.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But he's like, I'm gonna buy it everywhere
I
just
need
to
to
piss
talk
Matt.
to this person. You guys had her on here, didn't you?
No, but I did meet her when we were
Yeah,
in,
you met her.
we were in line getting into some event, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the developer of Garden of the Sea," and I'm like, "Oh, how you doing?" But Betty was like, "Amazing, I love you." Oh, too funny. Too funny. All right, so Demeo Battles came out today. Lots of cool stuff going on. We have a little interview with one of the developers. He is one of the head developers, and you'll see he's been with Resolution from the beginning. Let's go check out this quick interview, and the 3 of us will be right back. Hang on, watch this awesome interview. That's not the interview. Hang on one second. See, when Todd's not here, these things happen. I have to go to video storage.
Because Match doesn't know what he's doing.
All right, here we go. Here's the interview. All right, thank you from future Eric and Todd. We are here today with Gustav Stenmark, the senior producer at Resolution Games, to talk some Demeo Battles, which just launched this morning. As of right now, we actually are recording this interview earlier in the week because of time reasons. But I'll say first, congratulations, Gustav, on the launch of Demeo Battles as we air this interview. But welcome to the channel, and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Always fun to launch games, right?
Yeah, I mean, hectic, fun launch.
Right, I'm not
I mean,
sure fun is always the word to use.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
No.
we're doing this interview earlier in the week, and it's an extremely busy time trying to make sure that everything is perfect for the launch, especially of a high profile title like Demeo Battles. So I always like to say congratulations, just because we know like what a challenge it can be to launch something like this. So I think it is something that you should be proud of, and just getting a title launched is a big deal. So I think it's good for you to go crazy with it, be stressed out, and then once it's launched, you can sit back and like at least take a breath.
Totally. Thanks. Yeah, it's I mean, launching game is why I do this, right? So that's always the best to finally reach the launch day and see what the players think.
Absolutely. So, Gustav, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You are a senior producer at Resolution Games. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been there? What titles have you worked on with Resolution since you're there? Since you've been there, and what was your involvement with Demeo Battles?
Yeah, so I've been at Resolution pretty much since the very beginning. The company's soon to be 9 years old, and I've been there for 8.5, pretty much. So I joined a few months after they started. Yeah.
Heck
So our
yeah,
CEO
OG.
Tommy and I, we've been working together at different companies through the years. We were together at King just before he started Resolution, and then I joined to work on Bait, which was one of our first games.
Dude, I love
And
Bait, man. That's so kind. That's cool that you did Bait. Bait was it's like that game that everybody gets into when they first get their a standalone headset. It's such a cool
Right.
title, and it's being a free title is so important. I think for the
And still getting updates, right? Like you just updated it with a whole new multiplayer section.
multiplayer. A new lake, lots of
New
new
lake,
content. So
Yeah.
and it's been there since the beginnings of VR, right? It launched initially on Gear VR, so it's been around.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
then I've been working a lot with the more social VR side, like Cookout was the producer for that, and then I've been working on pretty much any project at Resolution. I've been involved in some form or other, but since the last 2 years, I've been focusing on Demeo, launching new updates on Demeo, and then as we started the embryo for what now is Demeo Battles started, that's like a shifted focus over to that.
Well, I mean, and rightly so. I mean, to have you on Demeos makes a whole bunch of sense. I mean, it is, Resolution has made a lot of fantastic games, but I would think we could all agree that Demeo probably is the biggest title, in the library. I mean, it's a game that everybody absolutely loves. So much so that we just here on our channel, Q2C VR Gamer Live, we did our definitive top 25 Quest games of all time, and our number 2 game of all time is Demeo.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Who was first, though? Oh.
That's a good question. It was Walking Dead Saints and Sinners was first, but there's a case.
There was a conversation and arguments over which of those positions should be which game. So
I get that.
Demeo settled nicely into that spot. So
Super.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a case for him in my eyes. There's a case to be made for it being the the number 1 game, and having a multiplayer game that's as deep and in depth as Demeo, I think is important for the platform to be able to get multiple people into something like this together to work for a common goal. That's why I think it's so popular. That's why I think it's so important. But then the amount that you have put into it as a company, it launched with 1 chapter, 1 story, 1 book, and we're now up at 5 books, I think, total. I think it absolutely deserves the spot where it is on the list, and it's a complete package of a game now.
And to mention that all those books that you came out are full multiplayer campaigns, and didn't cost the end user a dime. Kudos to Resolution. That's amazing.
I'm really proud with what we have accomplished with Demeo so far, right? And really looking forward to what the players will think of Battles now, and anything that comes in the future as well, right?
Yeah, and I think this is the cool progression. Like, so we start out with Demeo, VR, and then we, move into adding all these different chapters, and then, the Hero's Hideout comes in, and then we get into flat Demeo on PC, which is pretty amazing. And then we get into some, we get into a PlayStation VR version or VR2 version of Demeo, and a flat PlayStation version of Demeo, which is amazing. And now I think what everybody's kind of been asking for a long time is, I love the PvE element of this, but when do I get to battle against my friends and get into a PvP? And then that is the progression now that we've come to with Demeo Battles. So tell us a little bit about, for anybody out there who's listening, who's watching, who maybe doesn't understand exactly what Demeo Battles is. So just tell us a little bit about it and like how the team came to that progression of let's go and do something like this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so for starters, like Demeo, the original game has a great, like internally we call it the Demeo action role playing system, pretty much, because that's how it plays. There's a lot of emergent properties. There's a lot of synergies to be had between playing different heroes in a group when you just go like dungeon crawling in regular Demeo, and then taking those bits and pieces and putting them together in a PvE, or sorry, a PvP. That was pretty much the where we started off with Demeo Battles, and I would say we knew that we still wanted co-op, right? So Demeo Battles is always 2 heroes per team right now. So you can play alone, and then you control 2 heroes, or you play 2v2. You can also play 1 versus 2. Yeah, and really like taking advantage of all the work we put into Demeo and putting it together in a new form in Battles. So it started off pretty much like an internal prototype. One of the devs put together like almost like a game jam game, where you went to battle 2v2. And the new thing was that you bought cards from a pool of cards, and you bought some of the monsters from the game, and they would actually be on your side. And then we started playing around with that, started play testing, and we knew we were onto something quite early, actually. And then it's been a long process of play testing. We did some public betas early in the year. I think one of the like marquee moments in the development was when we found like the level design we believed in. Initially, it was very large levels, so the matches tended to be just one hero chasing the other around the map, and it wasn't that fun as soon as you started like abusing some of those strategies as a player. It was easy, right? So we had to concentrate gameplay. For a long time we limited gameplay to 8 rounds, and then we had a point scoring system. We tried that and we felt we were onto something, but it was always something in the back of our heads like, this is not the elegant solution. And then I guess in part inspired by battle royale games of the last few years, we started adding this lava, the burn. It's called now. Initially, it was called the lava, but it creeps in from all edges of the boards and just making the playable area smaller and smaller.
So you've eliminated the cat and mouse chase around the map, and now you're forcing people in a quick time frame to get to the middle and kill each other before you get burned.
Yeah, right. But instead of let's say before it was capped at 8 rounds, now some games actually extend longer if you're like a bit smart to manage your health and on your team. But now it's just whatever team both heroes die first, they lose.
I think it's super. I think it's a great idea to do it this way. I love the idea of the burn. I mean, the whole idea of battles is quicker matches, right? It's like you want to get in and you want to battle, but you want to do multiple battles. You want to try and get in and do as many as you can, in a period of time. And where Demeo can be a super drawn out experience where you can get into a match and it can last you 3 hours easy, depending on how hard the match is and how many people you have playing. Where battles is different. Battles is a jump. You could jump in and jump out, quick people. So I mean, if you're one of those people that's always like, I'd love to go do Demeo, but I can't commit the time to go do Demeo. Battles may be for you because I mean, it's really is a lot quicker. Like, how long do you think normal matches take?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been trying to keep matches around between 15 and 20 minutes, and I think we've hit the sweet spot there. Sometimes a match can be over faster. Obviously, but like the most I've seen is like around 20 minutes. You're right there, right? The Demeo can be a very like you pretty much have to commit an evening of gaming to it. Sure, you can save a few points during a game, but it's a bit more long form. A way to find a match. There's a quick match button, but you can also like team up with a friend and join the quick match queue pretty much as a 2-player team, or you can join it as a solo player taking on both heroes.
So can you
and
do
then
1 versus 2?
Yeah.
Take on both heroes and fight 2 people?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
almost
cool.
like the skirmish mode in the regular
Yeah.
Demeo.
There's also a single player mode in battles. With I think we have 40 challenges now where you meet computer controlled pairs of heroes.
That's a great way to practice for these battle royale kind of environment
Yeah.
games where you have to, you have to use your wits, and you need to know the maps, and you need to, understand the cards, because the cards in battles, from what I understand, aren't all the same as the cards that are in the real game.
No,
Because
we had to do some, like, for the Demeo people out there, right? There are a few cards that were just too powerful for a PvP game, and we were especially trying to avoid cards where you could pretty much insta kill someone without even rolling a crit, like on the first enemy contact, because they were a
Right.
bit disruptive. So the wizard fireball is called the firebolt, for instance, and it's slightly less damage. Some heroes we had to rework a bit more, like the assassin, how we work with stealth, right? In regular Demeo, the assassin is stealth, but all the others can see him. Now he's actually invisible to the other team.
So not only did you change a little bit of the cards, but the environments that you play in with Demeo Battles, are they based on the actual Demeo game? And how many environments are there? Like, do we just get 3 or 4 to play in, or do we get a dozen?
So we're launching with 10 different arenas that have been
Wow.
like designed specifically for Demeo Battles. They're always symmetrical, right? Some of them are symmetrical along the middle, some over the diagonal, for fairness sake, right? And
That makes sense. So if you randomly get the left side of the board, it's not a better
No,
vantage point for. Yeah, that's
right.
a smart idea to make them symmetrical for sure.
Yeah, but I think the burn can have a different endpoint, so it's not always ending at the same tile. And then we have the arenas there's actually 2 from each, like Demeo theme. So there's 2 set in the Dark Sarcophagus catacombs, pretty much, and then the sewers from the Rat King adventure. There's 2 of them, and then there's from the town and the desert.
So to the
forest.
players that play Demeo, there's some familiarity with the maps, but they're not exactly the same as the dungeons.
No, exactly. It's completely newly made maps, I would say, specifically for battles. They wouldn't really work in regular Demeo.
Right.
We also gave some of them a bit of a facelift or a recoloring to give some variation.
So let's talk a little bit about like strategy. So this can be played 1 versus 1, or it can be played 2 versus 2, which I think is extremely interesting. Having still having a team in there. So let's talk a little bit about when you have 2v2. You have 4 people in a room. You can all talk to each other, but is there a way you can personally communicate with your teammate to, talk about strategy, or can you not talk to everybody around the table, or how does that work?
No, so we have a little switch, so you can go into team chat mode, and then you can see if the other team is in team chat mode, if they stop being responsive. And when you're in team chat mode, the other team can't see your hands in VR,
Oh, nice.
and they can't hear your voice. Pretty much,
That's
they can
smart,
see where you're
'cause you could-
looking, though. So
But they can't see where you're pointing. So when you're pointing at the map, they don't see. That's
Yeah.
smart.
So we had that where you could team chat, but you could still see the other team's hands, and we were doing a lot of internal playtests. And what we ended up doing was like, you move your hands a bit here, and then you move your hands a bit here to like throw the other team off. Then when we did one of the first the closed betas we did early in the year, that was one of the main feedbacks, like, they can see my hands.
You could strategically confuse them. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
But
right.
we
Throw
ended
them
up
off like them.
well, we ended up hiding the hands.
No, I think it's something you have to do, and I do like that. I do like that the moves are timed. Like everybody has has their own move. I like that there is a time limit, and if you don't move in a certain time limit, you lose your turn, which is great because it keeps things going. Nobody can stall or take too much time, and it keeps everybody motivated to keep moving. through the match. Let's talk about strategy a little bit. So normally in Demeo, you're on a team, you're battling against the monsters, and you're trying to get through each level of the dungeon. Strategy must be completely different here now. So you're player versus player, and you can use your own attacks on other players, and you can also use monster attacks on other players too, correct?
Right? Yes, absolutely. So, or I mean, the monsters move on their own accord, right? So you don't control the monsters directly. Like in Demeo, the 4 players make their move, and then it's the monsters that move. It's the same in battles. It's just the first player of team 1, then the first player of team 2, and second of team 1, and then when they have moved, that's when the monsters kick in. And move for both sides at the same time. And I would say like finding the right combination of like heroes. I mean, I think when it comes to what hero you play, you're probably gonna be as like I tend to play the Guardian a lot because I really like playing her. Then it's a lot on the fly, right? So you the next step is you have 1500 gold and you get to buy cards and monsters at the same time. So you have a selection of 5 cards, 5 monsters. If you don't like what you see there, there's a shuffle button that you can press, and then
Nice.
you will get a new selection of 5 cards, 5 heroes. So what often happens is like, depending on what I get on the first screen, ad hoc a strategy from there. Like maybe I have 2 small slimes, I can buy those and like go for trying to buy all the slimes I have and like overwhelm the other team with slimes. Or sometimes there's a lot of ranged monsters, so I will buy a lot of those, right? And then maybe some barricades to be able to wall off parts of the map for the other team. We've seen some cards get a new life here that maybe weren't that important in regular Demeo, right? The barricade, for instance, if you can block
Barricade, yeah,
off,
exactly.
right? That's it's a more important
I've
one.
played a bunch of battles now with some of the people from Resolution, and I never thought of the barricade card as that useful.
Yeah.
But now that you're talking about it a little more, I'm like, yeah, that's a great card to block them off and trap them in the burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, can
Right.
you use, like, poison and things like that too, or does the poison lamps grow like they do normally? So you can cut people off and have them cut off between poison and the burn?
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
That's cool.
We actually did change a bit how the poison works. So now you get the poison status effect, and then at the end of your turn, you get 1 damage.
Okay, so in the battle, it's now player 1's turn. How much time do they have to make their move? And is there a punishment for not making their move? Like, is there a timer, or is it just he can sit there and contemplate his plan for 10 minutes?
Yeah, there is no punishment, right? You lose your action points, and that's a very scarce resource here. You have 2 action
Right.
points per turn, right? So what you do with your turn really makes a difference in the end. So that would be the punishment. The timers are around a minute and a half from the
Okay,
top.
so it's not like a speed run. You don't have to quickly do it. You've got a minute to kind of plan
Yeah.
out what you're going to do on your first and maybe second move.
Yeah, I mean, this has been one of those, like, how do you balance that? Like, do you optimize it for seasoned players or new players, right? Or we're launching today, actually. All players will be beginners. So I think we might want to adjust those later, or we keep them as is. But we have plans for a ranked mode, and I think for that we're going to want maybe some tighter deadlines, like shorter
Right.
timers. To keep things snappy.
Ranked would be awesome. That's huge news. That would be
Yep.
amazing. Ranked would be so good because I could imagine seeing like this done in tournaments where you have people going up against each other in like bracketed style tournaments. I think it would be pretty amazing to see something like that. So we were just talking about a ranking system. Now, will the ranking system ever help you with being matched up against random opponents that are of the same rank as you, or is it just random who you get put into matches with? So like if you end up being like a top 5 player, would you be ranked with a player that's a 200 rank, and then you would just completely annihilate that player?
Yeah, I mean, a ranking system would be there, right, to be able to set up fair matches and also challenging matches for really good players, right? But the exact details of the ranked mode, like we came quite far, but then at some point we had to like focus on getting the game ready for launch. So we had to back out a bit. So a lot of those questions are answered, but I'm not sure I can hints on everything yet, but yes, that is the idea, right? Well,
yeah, Todd's beeping you out.
I'm beeping that,
yeah.
Nice.
There's actually there's the casual mode where you play potentially against people you don't know, but there's also a private game mode, which is more similar to how you play Demeo today. If you set up a game and then invite your friends.
How about the AI as an enemy? So if you don't want to go in and play with somebody else, random, or you don't have a person to go up against, can you go in and just play the AI as an enemy?
Yeah, you can. So you can set up a private match and just play the random AI pretty much. That it will just randomly buy cards and creatures from the store. It won't be like it won't have thought through so much like the loadout they bring to the game. Single player, you always play against AIs, and for those we have actually created teams of heroes with specific loadouts, like these enemies and these cards, so they have some flavor to them. I know a lot of people in the team have said that they became better players in multiplayer after
Nice.
playing the single player levels, because you're kind of forced to see some strategies that not everyone in the team even have seen, but the game and level design have, right? So the
Nice.
sneaky bastards. No, so that's
Yeah,
a really
exactly.
cool way
yeah.
really cool way to play the game for single play mode. There's 40 challenges at launch. You can each get a 1, 2, or 3-star rating on them. You will get XP and you will get keys, we call it. You get keys from playing, and those you can use to like unlock heroes and new arenas and some skins and
Oh, nice. So there's some
stuff.
progression then. Do you have something to work towards to get some things unlocked? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think you need to reach level 10 or 15. I don't remember off the top of my head, but in order to unlock all uh, there's a catalog with pages, and you need to reach a certain level to unlock the next page. And then on each page, you can get unlocks by spending your keys that you get from playing the game.
So for the person who is a huge Demeo fan, who's been playing Demeo since it launched, will they be able to jump into battles and automatically be, really good at it? Or is it a different type of strategy, or do you have to think differently? How does it translate from regular Demeo to Demeo battles?
It's a good question. I mean, apart from that, some stuff has been tweaked and changed. A lot of it plays the same, right? But it's a whole other story to be pitched against a human opponent rather than Demeos. Like, you open the door and there's like a bunch of monsters there, right? You strategize together on how to best deal with the situation, but you never have to deal with an actual human on the other side. So that part of it, I guess, is harder, but like it plays the same. There's the same. You have your 2 action points. You interact and like a melee attack or open a chest the same. I guess like we actually split the tutorial for this game up in 2 parts, and the first one you can skip if you have played regular Demeo. It's about moving, controlling the camera, zooming in and out. How do you open a chest? How do you open a door? How do you melee attack? How do you use a card? All that stuff. And then for the second part, it's more like this is how Demeo Battles work, and I think that's important for players to go through. How does a game work? And then you're actually joined on your team by Deb.
Oh, nice.
So she's joining and controlling the other hero in that first tutorial battle.
And there's another famous little face from Demeo that shows up in Demeo Battles. Who's the ringmaster of this whole chaos that he's doing?
Klepto has gotten a huge club that he used to bang his massive bell, right? It's I think a lot of people internally and externally from Resolution really loved from the first game. So he's our game master, just a shot caller, standing on his platform and yeah, urging the teams on.
I love it. I'm so glad Klepto is in there. I mean, it's everybody loves Klepto, so it's cool to see it.
Yeah.
It's cool to see it in there. It's pretty awesome. Heroes Hangout. Do we see Heroes Hangout coming to Demeo Battles, or not right now, or maybe in the future?
Yeah, maybe in the future. We haven't really planned that in yet in the post-launch roadmap, but we might very well see it. Like I think Heroes Hangout is a great way to find players to play with, right? But, so I don't see why not, except there's a lot of stuff we want to do with this game, obviously.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that is one of the biggest things for people to take away from this is, is with resolution, as with Demeo, I think we'll go for Demeo Battles, is you guys never seem like you're done with any of these things. You're constantly adding to them and working on them and bringing more content to them. So, I think what you see from Demeo Battles today probably is not what you'll end up seeing from it in the end. So it'll be interesting to see the progression as well. So, yeah, and again, just, congratulations on this launch. I mean, this is just such a big deal, and I finally get to go in there and kick Todd's ass in Demeo.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I can't wait.
It's awesome. So Todd, you played a lot. Like, did you try the MR mode and stuff?
Yeah, that was kind of the last point I wanted to touch on. Is playing Demeo in mixed reality to me is the only way to play it, especially on the Quest 3 headset. It is so good to make the battle my entire office and just walk around where I want to see things and throw the dice, and it is so much fun.
Yeah.
Can I do that inside Demeo Battles?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Right? We support hand tracking and mixed reality, just like regular Demeo at launch. And I think, to me, like the hand track, I started noticing how as we were developing Demeo with MR and now Battles, whenever I was in VR, I would just put my controllers down and use hand tracking. I think it's such an easier way to
it's so intuitive, and it's very immersive to just pick up your little character and drop them on for a melee attack, or pick your cards out of your hand with your fingers, throwing the dice around your house. Like, it's definitely the way to play it.
I love the fact that you can play Demeo, which is normally a seated game, or Demeo Battles, which would probably be normally a seated game. Now for me becomes a standing game because I can make the entire map my living room floor. And and there's no longer where I have to push and pull the map around to go and see something. I can actually just walk over to it and stick my head right down in there and see exactly what I want to look at, where I want to go, strategize about what's coming up. Whether it's Demeo or Demeo Battles, I mean, to me, mixed reality takes it to a completely different level. It's so cool when you can actually just take the dice and just like throw it out your window of your living room. Right? You throw it on your floor and it rolls on your own floor. It's pretty cool.
And the Quest 3, the whole mapping of your room, right? Like, I can actually throw it against my wall and it bounces off the wall and back onto the board. Like, it's amazing. Yeah,
that was like the whole MR technology just emerging now was such a good like a stroke of luck for Demeo, or not stroke of luck, but it was just a match made in heaven for
fortuitous timing. Totally
right, because some games are like they're all about immersion and like but for Demeo, like so much of it happens on the board. Like I really like playing it in VR, but it actually lends itself really well to MR gaming as well.
Gustav, thank you for coming in, man. Thank you for coming in launch week when you're super busy trying to make sure everything's perfect for launch day. We really appreciate it. Demeo Battles. Todd and I have both been playing for a while. Todd's been playing this all the way back since last year. We can tell you guys now, it's amazing. Go get it. If you haven't gone to get it yet, what are you waiting for? Go get it. Demeo Battles, get in there and challenge us. We'll come and kick your asses. We promise. Or maybe not.
I'll be there too.
Absolutely. All right, Gustav, thanks, man. And we'll send this back to Eric and Todd in the future. Not Eric and Todd. Not Eric and Todd. It's Betty, Dee, and Eric. Todd's slacker. Slacker. That was Betty, did you say sometime in the middle there, did you interview Gustav at one point?
Yeah, I did. On the VR chat channel. It used to be the PSVR chat show, or maybe it's the PSVR chat channel.
That's cool. So what was the game you interviewed him for?
Cookout.
No way.
Yes, and it was like, I think my second one I ever did. I was so nervous and I was going through some crazy stuff at the same time and had a little meltdown before the but I loved the game because it was the very first cooking VR game out there, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. You really got to play it sometime if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my cooking in VR is not my, it's not my thing.
Chaos.
Yeah, I think I have actually tried it. I I know I have the game. I think I have tried it at one time, but
You have
I think
to
it was
click on
out of
it.
all the cooking games, I think it was one of the ones I could tolerate them the most.
It was so cute. I love that game. Like I've always wanted to build that one in Rec Room. Especially what is it, the main page there? Yeah, the main
Nice.
menu page.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool, man. Gustav he's a super nice guy. I've gotten to know him pretty well, like over the last couple of years. You know, I met him, you know, I think almost 3 years ago now, and you know, he's like an OG. You know, he's been there a long time. He's been there right after they opened their doors, Resolution Games, so he's been there from the beginning. Guys, he worked on Bait. I mean, Bait is like a perennial. Like everybody goes and gets Bait. Like it's like one of the first things you do when you get your Quest headset, right?
No, Beat Saber.
No, nobody wants to play Crap Saber.
Dee's like, no, I
Beat
didn't do
Saber.
it. I didn't buy Bait.
Dee, tell Betty. That's not what
No, dude. I like Beat Saber. Shoot
No, you
me.
hate Beat Saber.
I bought it, but I did not like it on the Quest because I played with it on the PSVR 1 and the orb controllers,
Yeah, they feel like real sabers, right?
they were good.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no beating it.
Oh, there's no beating that for Beat Saber.
You
I
know
may
who
go
else
play
I
Beat Saber
bought?
after this thing is over.
Oh, shit.
Can't wait. Get back in there.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the question, though. Did Beat Saber make my top 10 PlayStation VR game list?
No.
And that's what we're going to get into in a second. I just want to wrap up Demeo Battles and say thank you again to Gustav for taking time out. We did that interview, I think, on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and it was a lot of fun. They were super busy this week trying to make sure everything was perfect for this launch. And he wanted to come in and like explain things about the game, and I think he gave a really good aspect to the game. So it was super cool. Thanks for coming in, Gustav. And Demeo Battles, if you guys have not tried it, go get it. I mentioned in chat during the middle there of the interview, I think this is like, I had so much fun in there, you know, all the time that I played it, but now, you know, playing the final version and seeing how polished it is, getting in there with other people and like having, you know, trash talking, having a good time. This is the way I think I want to play Demeo now. You know what I mean? Like if you have been into Demeo and you're like, I've done all the chapters, I've, you know, played them over and over again, but I want something different now. This is Demeo, but it's like a different type of Demeo now because there's different strategy involved. I know I saw somebody asking before, you know, this looks like old Demeo. You sure this wasn't the same trailer? It does feel and look like Demeo, but the strategies are different now. Everything changes when you're not, you know, 4 people battling all of the monsters in the group, and you don't have. It's not about going to find a key and then finding an exit and then exploring the dungeon. It's more about positioning yourself on the board. You, in the beginning, when you start, you have 1,500 coins to spend. You can buy cards or you can buy monsters. Okay. You have 1,500 coins to spend. So, and you can shuffle 3 times. So I think you have 5 or 6 cards, and then you have 5 or 6 monsters on the board. And like you can see their little like characters and everything on the board. And you can buy them, and they're, you know, worth so much money, 300, 400. You know, some of the bigger ones, the bigger monsters are worth, you know, 500 coins. You only have 1,500 to spend, and you can either like lay all your money out on cards, so you have a fistful of cards when you go into the board, or you can lay it all on monsters, so you're like having monsters all over the place. Now you don't control the monsters; they won't attack you because they're your monsters, but they're random where they go.
Like pets.
They'll act like the regular monsters in the game attacking your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll move that way.
Oh.
What's that, Dee?
So you can't place them at all. Like you absolutely know.
So you can in the beginning of the round. So when you start, so once you do your buys and you buy everything, you buy you pick your character, because again you can pick whoever you want to use,
Right.
and then you buy your cards and you buy your monsters. You have a movement phase where you can place your monsters in a certain direction, like a part of the map where you're going to spawn in. So like strategically, so you can like have them coming from 2 different areas, maybe like set some up over to the right to go through a doorway, and then set some up over here to come in a couple of different areas. You don't know exactly where your enemies are going to be yet until the board starts, but you get to place them. But once the round starts, you only control your hero. You don't control the monsters anymore. What Wise Director from VR Central said tonight, which I think is super interesting. If you're doing the 2-player and you die, once you die twice, you're dead. You can't come back. There's no reviving you. You're out, and your partner's on their own at that point. And he said it would be cool if you owned a monster to be able to take control of that monster once you're dead. And I think that would be a super cool idea, and maybe something that Resolution should look into, because when I died, I had 4 monsters left on the board. It would be cool if I could have taken over like my giant spider at that point and made moves and decisions for my giant spider as I'm now out of the game. So
It's like a breacher's mechanic.
yeah, like when you can take over one of the bots. Yeah, I thought it was super interesting when he said that, and I'm like, you know what? Because that's exactly right. But just the whole idea of the different strategy. Gustav talked about the burn and the way that the board shrinks, and that, and once it starts, there's a couple of rounds that you have to go before it starts. But once the burn starts, it moves pretty fast,
It's like
and it
Royale.
really, it really forces you into
Each
number
other's
one.
way.
Yeah, but you almost have to play the burn too, right? Like you kind of, because it kind of shows you where it's going to be the next turn. So, it has the burning tiles that are already burnt, and then it shows you a highlighted tile of where it's actually going to move to the next turn. So you can actually start to position yourself or move yourself in the position where you can actually get your enemies into the burn, and it will start to kill them, especially their monsters, in the burn. And you can actually pin them in the burn too. Like, if you want to use one of your web bombs and like web one of them in a place, hold that web bomb till they're close to the burn, and the burn will hit them in the next move or so. You can web them in place so they can't get out, and then they're stuck, and then the burn will actually start to kill the enemies. It's just such a cool thing, man. It's a whole new way to play Demeo, and that's why it's a separate game. Like, I know that there's some people complaining that, why isn't this just a DLC? Why isn't this included? Or why do I have to pay for a whole new game? But guys, this is a whole new game. This is completely different than regular Demeo. Everything has changed. So, I mean, it deserves a new game. Plus, they've given us enough.
Like at Mario, for instance, are we going to be saying, where's my DLC Mario? You know what I mean?
Right.
When there's so many different types of versions of Mario. So that's a good example. It's just going to be different versions of Demeo.
It is. And then, look, I know everybody wants a free game. Like, everybody, because, there are people that are complaining, like, why isn't this just DLC? But exactly, they've given us so much over,
and
like,
characters.
They started with 1 book. They've got 5 now that they give us for free over the last year and a half.
Yep.
I mean, I think this
Unlike
is worth
Moss,
it.
What was Moss's game that they did, the side game?
For a PlayStation, they made you upgrade to the full price. If you
okay, so there's that, but they have a side game called Guardian.
Glass Breakers.
Glass Breakers. I was so disappointed it's all paid DLC.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah,
it was, and so that's why that was a disappointment.
If we talk all the time, or I talk all the time about not wanting to reward developers who either do cheap or lazy ports, or don't put enough into their game, and I don't want to give them my hard-earned money for a game that's flawed or broken. This is a team I want to give my money to. Like, they have supported Demeo for how long without upcharging anybody, and just building upon building upon building, and never asking a dime. I mean, they're not even like Walkabout charges for every course now. Can you imagine if they just gave them all away? Like, Demeo has earned the right for my dollar. Like, whatever they do at this point, I am more than happy to pay
$4.99 for their book. For a new book,
100%. If they had done that all along, $5.99. If they're going to give me a new chapter, like, I'd pay $9.99 for a new chapter.
I don't think I would do $9.99. Oh, for a whole new chapter.
For a whole new chapter of Demeo, for sure I would. Yeah,
okay,
I'd pay
if it was like a
chapter.
different character, or I don't know.
No, maybe they don't have to do a new hero every time, but if they give you a new book where it's a completely new map and new enemies and different things change, like like they do with the new books. Like, if they had started charging $6.99, $7.99, $8.99, even, like I said, even $9.99 for the chapters, I would have paid them. But they didn't. They give them to us for free. And then for them to do that, I am more than happy to give them my money. Like, to me, it's well worth it. Plus, I'm getting this whole new game. It's not like I'm giving them my money for free. I'm getting a whole new game, and it's a completely different strategy now, even though it uses the same characters. And what Gustav said in the middle there was completely right. There are some cards in Demeo that currently now don't make a lot of, not that they don't make sense, but you don't use them a lot, or they feel like they're ancillary, or just not as important as some of the other cards. Now they actually bring a new importance of what you can use them for in game. Super cool, man.
I was curious about the strengths of the AoE from the wizard and then he mentioned the fireball. So that he still has it, but it is just I'm down a bit because I mean all you have to do is just freeze a guy and then boom, and fireball, they're all gone.
Yep. It's really cool, man. The buying round is super cool because it's limited, right? And you have to decide how do I run? Do I run, get a couple of cards and then go get a couple of monsters? Do I load up on all monsters? Do I load up on all cards?
I can't wait. I'm
What
looking
character
forward to
do
it.
I
I'll get it
use?
tomorrow.
Wise director was Wise was on his own. It was me and Jasmine against Wise by himself because we didn't have a fourth. So he got 2 characters. He was using the Bard and the Barbarian, and damn, he was freaking. That's a scary combo when you get those 2 characters together.
Wow.
Tough to beat. I was the Guardian and Jazz was the Wizard, and we barely beat him the second game. We lost the first game because I just didn't understand the rule. So once you're downed, so you're automatically given a health potion, and if you go down once, the health potion that you have in your card deck will automatically revive you. It'll do it on its own, so it'll bring you back to life. Well, what happened was I got pretty hurt, so I used my health before I had died the first time. So once I died, I was dead because I had already used that health. There was no coming back. Normally, you can come back twice, but I couldn't come back, so literally I was dead almost off the bat, and I'm like, "How come I couldn't come back?" Well, that's what it is. You need to keep that. You need to have one of those heal cards in your hand at all times, but it was just super fun. I can't wait to get into it. All right, guys, we got to get going here. So let's hit this. This is going to be very interesting. So we are going to do our top 10 PlayStation VR games. Now, this is not PlayStation VR 1 or PlayStation VR 2. This is both. This is a little
Betty
bit
has
harder.
made a list of each.
I know. We'll hit Betty's list quickly. But this is to me, this is harder. Like if you're going to open it up to everything, this brings in a whole bunch of new things, Dee and Betty, that make things more difficult because there are some all-time greats that to me still warrant being on the list. Now, like for certain platforms, I am still of the mindset that what maybe once was an all-time great is not an all-time great anymore. It doesn't mean it's not a great game. It just means in today's current games, it doesn't belong or need to keep its spot on the list. But with PlayStation, there are just some great games that I don't know if I could say goodbye to.
Right.
That are just like, to me, they're all time. Like they're so all time that I don't know if I could ever take them off the list. And that's where I think it got tough, right?
And then there's me, who's only played 2 PSVR 1 games. So guess what? They made the list.
And then there's me that couldn't get got a bunch of crappy PSVR 1 games because I didn't know what I was doing at the time. And then now I'm just like, I'm really sketchy about buying some. Like, I'm so glad I did not get Ghostbusters. So glad.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, dodge that bullet.
I mean, so I've played a lot of these games. I've been very lucky, over the years to have a lot of keys, given to me, where I don't have to go buy everything. So I have played most of these games in the PlayStation 1 library and the PlayStation VR 2 library. So I do have a good range of games, but it makes it harder at that point sometimes. Like if I didn't had played all of them, I would maybe make it easier for me because I wouldn't know what I'm missing at that point. So it'd be easier for me to keep things off the list. But so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over our top 10s. We'll start at 10 and move our way to the number 1, each of us. And then we'll kind of go back and I want to give my top 25 quickly too, just to see what didn't make the list. And then Betty's got hers as well that we'll go through quickly. But we're not going to be making like a definitive list like we did last time for the quest. This is just us going over our top 10s. And then I'm very curious. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what these lists look like because they are going to differ a lot, which I think is cool. So let's get started. Why don't we go like this first? We'll go D first, then we'll do Betty's pick, and then we'll do my pick, and we'll start at number 10. And D, hit us. Your number 10 PSVR game of all time.
I feel like it's not exactly my favorite type of game, but it's such a beautiful game. I had to put it on here. And I'm going to get shit for it, probably for it being this low, but Resident Evil Village.
No. Wow.
I mean, at least they made you top 10.
Yes.
I mean, that's good.
And that's what I like.
cute.
It's not exactly my favorite, but I do want to continue playing it at some point. But it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful game, and it was one of the ones I did want to play when it first came out. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing game. It absolutely belongs in this list. I do agree that it should be higher,
when
but
I
that's
first
okay. This
saw
is your
that
list.
big woman pick me up, dude, oh my god.
That big-breasted woman.
I was gonna say something. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Oh no, you can say it. Go ahead. You can say whatever you want.
No.
Paul Fennessy
Actually, I
said
think
that
they
freaked
call
me
it,
out
what,
in VR.
she's Mistress D.
Yeah,
no.
Dimitrescu.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. But
something like that.
yeah, so they call her D.
Yeah, it's an amazing game. I mean, I think it's super well done. We'll talk about it a little bit more as we go, I'm sure. But Betty, number 10 for you.
And is this PSVR 1 or VR 2 or mix?
This
It was
is
supposed
all
to be a
mixed.
combo.
Yeah, this is everything.
Okay, it's Stardust Odyssey, PSVR 1.
Wow. So this on your all-time list, PSVR 1, PSVR 2 combined, Stardust Odyssey makes your top 10.
It's just a really cool game. It's
So tell us, there's a lot of people out there that probably are like, so
What?
the who?
Can I
What?
just give you the
Tell-
link?
No, just tell us about it. Tell us about Stardust Odyssey. Give us a little bit of synopsis of what the game is.
It's okay. So basically, you're in a ship, and it's a co-op, right? But your avatars are gold and absolutely gorgeous, and inside there's lots of filigrees and colors, and then honestly, you're driving, you're just going, you're flying through levels, right? And these levels change, the environments change, and in the meantime, you're robbing like ships that are out there, taking coins and money and upgrading your ship, and you're also defeating bad guys at the same time. But it's just a really neat game.
This is interesting. This is a super unique view. I've never played this game, to be honest with you, Betty. I don't know this
A
one.
lot of people have it.
I'm
Dave
just
and
curious.
I played it a lot, and Void and we played it a lot. I mean, Dave and I think that's when we became BFFs, was the time that we got on that ship, and we were just cracking up laughing so hard.
Yeah.
Because of these creatures that were coming at us. But
It's this is going to be interesting because I mean, I'm sure this is your list again, remember, so remember that. I'm just curious. I need to see like what you left. One of you at 10, you had to leave an amazing game off this list to get this game on, and I can't wait to see what you left off. All right, number 10 for me. This is a game that I did not have in my top 25 recently, and now it has made my top 10 because of the work that they continue to put into this game. Whether they screw it up or not, No Man's Sky now belongs on the top 10 list of your best ever PlayStation VR games. I am not a huge fan of, not that I'm not a huge fan of this game. I am a big fan of this game. This game is so daunting to me that I don't put enough time into it. But I've been into it a couple of times now since they've updated it. It is absolutely amazing, and it should be. If you like No Man's Sky, this is the way you should be playing No Man's Sky.
yes.
I think, Betty, over the PC version now.
Dude, I couldn't play either. And Dee, what do you think?
I we'll find out.
I mean, it could not. See, to me, like I said, it was off my top 25 because of the issues that it had, and it's just not ever been a game that I have like been able to put a ton of time into. But the time I did put into it, I absolutely love it. Like I really, really love this game, and the work they put into it now. I mean, if there's so much in here, like you could put hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game and not do the same thing twice. Like it's amazing the things you have to do in here, or the things you can do in here that they've continued to add. And I don't know if they're done with it. Like like it doesn't. There seems like there's no end to what they do with this game. So pretty damn amazing. It absolutely makes my list. We'll see if it makes your guys' list. D, on to you. Number 9 for you.
Farpoint.
Oh,
Excellent
yeah.
choice. Excellent
I forgot
choice.
about
Can't argue.
Farpoint.
Betty, how do you forget about Farpoint?
Yeah, because there's so many games.
There is, but you cannot forget about Farpoint. Farpoint is an amazing game. Betty, D, tell us your experience.
It was one of 2 games I've ever played on PSVR 1, and it's still if it wasn't for the frickin' having to bust out that camera and set that up, and I'd probably be in that headset a bit more because we have it downstairs, but the gameplay of it is it's just it has stuck with me since I've played it.
That would be one of the games that I would put everything back together again. I would go through all the shit of going and find all my stuff, getting the camera hooked back up. I would do it for Farpoint. I don't know if there's many games I would do it for,
Yeah.
but Farpoint is one of them for sure. Awesome. Number 9, Betty. I can't wait to hear what number 9 is. You came out with a crazy one. Start us out to see a 10. What's number 9 for you, Betty?
Because I divided my list, so now I'm frantically.
Now you
trying
gotta
to
pick
remember
one
the
between
guess.
one or the other.
Yeah, why did you do that?
I know I made it harder. I'm gonna have to say Hotel R&R PSVR 1.
This is the craziest list I've ever heard, Betty. You just left off 2. I don't even know what you could have left off this top 10 list to put in Hotel
No,
R&R.
these are
and Stardust
personal best.
Odyssey. Yeah, I get
Personal
you. I
best.
get you. No, I got you.
My favorites, the ones that made me so freaking happy.
I'm
You
with
know,
I'm
these are ones that made an impact on me, that I had such a good time in, that I would laugh my butt off and,
I
break
heard
my
you.
arm or my hands or something. They're just so fun.
I hear you.
You're never gonna let me do this again, are you? Because did you give me 10? Give me 15 and maybe I can work something out. Have you played it? It's hilarious. Oh my god.
All right, number 9, Eric, roll the tape. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Number 9.
Come on.
All right, my number 9, D, you okay? You got a date? Is Wanderer.
I gotta go
Number
to
9
freaking
is
sleep. I gotta be up at
Wanderer.
5 a.m., dude.
Yeah, no, number 9 is Wanderer for me. I think this is one of the best games on PlayStation VR. If you haven't played it, you should. It's not just a puzzle game; it's a puzzle adventure game. This is something you should definitely try. Even if, like I said, if you hate puzzles, go try this game. It's different than what you think it might be. And they have a new version coming out. They have a brand new version coming out for the PlayStation VR 2 that you should try as well. So number 9 for me is Wanderer. All right, D, number 8.
Astrobot.
Definitely belongs there. I agree. I love this game. Astrobot is great. I think it's one of the best games out there. Perennial favorite.
All right.
8.
My number 8 is Song in the Smoke.
That's a good one, Betty. That's a really good one. I almost forgot Song in the Smoke when I was making my list, and I'm like, man, I think Song in the Smoke has to be. That's one of those games you're making your list. You're like, oh shit, how do I jam this into the list somewhere?
Jake, the developer, was so into VR when making this game. He knew exactly what we wanted when he made this game. He did tons of research. I'm a huge fan of him, and I love Song in the Smoke. I used to play it lunchtime almost every day.
Yeah, that's
stream it. Lunch with Betty.
Oh, really? Nice. Mm-hmm. That's super cool, man. I love it. Yeah, Song of the Smoke's a great game, and I think again, this is one of the platforms that you do want to play it on, just because of the visuals of this game. Oh. Go play it on the PlayStation VR 2. That would be it's really, really good. Good survival horror game. All right, my number 8 is Synapse. Newer game, just came out, but Synapse is one of the best games out there. Like, this game completely makes you feel like a badass. And if you want to get everything out of what the new headset has to offer, Synapse will give it to you. Like, if you want to see what the hardware can do and take everything that's there and kind of roll it up all into an amazing game. And people might think it's short and maybe think it's not a complete game. It is, man, and everything it does is awesome. I love Synapse, and it looks beautiful. All right, D, 7.
7 is actually Synapse for me.
Nice. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, and do your playthroughs on Synapse? What do you think? Like, how have you beat it? Like, how far have you gotten?
No, I definitely. Man, it's been so long. I want to say I made it all the way through, but I could be wrong. But I've definitely gone, a good ways through it, and just it gets crazier the longer you're in it. So, but it's so
Yeah.
innovative with the freaking eye tracking and just like pulling them up, throwing them down. Dude, it's great.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. It's such a good game. Again, everything you want for that headset is wrapped up in Synapse.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Your number 7, Betty? Yeah, we're on 7.
Yep.
My number 7 would have to be Ghost Giant.
Nice. That's super different. I like that one. Tell everybody a little bit about Ghost Giant if they haven't played it.
It is it's an experience game, so there's a really deep story in it about a little boy and his mother. Don't want to say too much because it's kind of the main point of the story, but if you have a chance to play it, I definitely would. It will pull your heartstrings, but it's really well done. And a lot of miniatures if you like miniatures and stuff. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really well done. I like it. It's got a good story to it too. It's like
Mhm.
makes you kind of think about things. Very
Mhm.
cool, Ghost Giant. I like it.
Yeah, I
Thanks
just
for
don't
that.
want to get into that because that's the heart of the story right there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't
Don't
really
give it
find
away.
out what the whole thing is, what's going on until the end. So,
Mr. Lord Beavis says Concrete Genie. I saw that one on somebody
that
else's
one
list. That's an
too is
interesting one. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep, for sure. For sure. My number 7 is Horizon Call of the Mountain.
Mm.
Um, I, I just love this game. I know there's people out there that don't like this game or they don't think it's like a full game or they think it's a tech demo. I love this game. It's one of I go back to this one all the time. Like I go back in just to climb around and look at the visuals, shoot the bow, battle some of these awesome mechanical, beings. I think it's super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I love Horizon.
See, I liked it too, but it's on my almost made it list.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked a couple of times. There are games I had to leave off for it that, hurt me. Like definitely. It was hard to get it on there, but to me, I love it. I think it's just
Yeah.
one of the best games. It shows off with the hardware of what it does, and I just always have fun in it. So,
Yeah.
all right, D6.
No Man's Sky.
There it is.
Mhm.
Yep, there it is. That's why I was like, I'm not saying nothing.
You got to go into the hotel R&R with Betty or no,
Yeah.
what's your hotel called in No Man's Sky?
I actually haven't I specifically bought this game when PSVR 2 came out. Or I had it on my wish list for waiting for a sale. Because I wasn't paying how much was it? Like $40 or something like that. So
I mean, it's
it
been
was
up
waiting for
there.
a sale. So when it first came out, I only played like 15 minutes of it because I'm like, this is shit.
Yeah.
But then they did the
Mhm.
update, and I'm like, oh man, and that's when I started putting hours into the game. So
Nice.
Right.
So you still going back to it now, D?
it's been a minute because, dude, there's a steady flow of games that
That's the hardest
I
thing.
can't. I want to.
That kills me when you have such a good game that you absolutely love that you just almost can't afford to spend time into it because it's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
It's so bad. It's they need a special place to go to detox from it.
Seriously, right? I know.
It's
I know.
so bad. But it's
All right.
actually helping me with work today, so I'm okay with it.
Oh, really? Nice.
Mhm.
Nice. 6 for you, Betty.
6 for me is what is my number 6? Synopsis.
Nice. It made all 3 of our lists. That's the first game that's made all 3 of our lists so far, right?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Actually,
Yep.
yeah, that's the
So
first game.
far.
Yep,
Mhm.
so far. So again, yeah, what can you say about Synapse? I know there's some people that have that that don't exactly think it's a long enough game, and there was some detractors. Like to me, it was weird when Synapse came out. A lot of people came out and were like, "Not a good game," or "It's not great,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "I don't see it. Like I don't get it. Like I don't see what you're not getting with this game."
Right.
Maybe the length is one of the things you could say about it, but man, everything else is spot on
That
good.
that is one of the crap parts about it, but it still doesn't defeat the fact that or take away from the fact that it uses that eye tracking the best that I've seen in a game, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Agreed. Agreed. And it's to me, it's like Fract, which is another game from them. Fract is the same thing. The only detractor I
Right.
have with Fract is it's short. Like if it was 3 or
Yeah.
4 hours longer, it might have made my top 10. Like I like that game that much. It's not long enough.
Right.
You know who else hates it when it's not long enough?
My mom. Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does. All right, my number 6, Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
I had to have this on the list. If you have to go play it here again. I think again now we talk about all the time like what system should I go and play this on? I think now we're to the point where this may be the definitive way, especially Retribution, chapter 2 Retribution, with the haptics of the headset on the PlayStation and with the way the visuals look with those OLED lenses and the colors and the dark and the blacks and everything being dark in this, in this type of world. I think this is the way to play it now. Over the PC version, I think this is the way to play it. So, Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners made my number 1 and made our definitive number 1 on the last list. I think this goes. Where are we? What are we laughing at, D? What button did we press me to make? What button do we press, D?
You just you know who else button.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, we are at number 5. All right, this is top 5 now. These are like all-time greats. Top 5.
This is the
Yeah.
The creme of the creme.
Mm-hmm. I can't.
The bourgeois.
I love this game so much that I have bought it and played it on almost every platform. The Light Brigade.
Oh,
very
really?
interesting.
I love shooters and I fucking love that game.
It's a great game. Made my top 25, D. I'll tell you that. Didn't make my top 10.
Right.
Made my top 25. I do love it.
I'm just going away because I did not play it. I haven't played it. I was I was Googling it though on Quest.
You would love this. I think you would dig this game. This is kind of like your type of game too. I think you would enjoy it. I think you would enjoy it a lot. And it is beautiful on the PlayStation. Is that so D, you owned it on 3 different platforms. Is this the favorite way you'd want to play it on the headset?
No.
How come? I know what you're going to say, but how come?
What do you think I'm going to say?
Tracking.
I want the pro controllers with this with any shooting game, but it was smooth with those pro controllers and dude, it makes me want to go spend $300 on controllers, but not just
I know. This one's close because like to me it's like I'm 100% with you. The tracking is not as good with the PlayStation as it is with even the Quest 2 version is not as good, but it looks so good in the PlayStation headset. So it's like a trade-off. Like I'm very torn on how I'd like to play it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean to play it well, you needed to have it operate well, and the tracking while better, it is. While the tracking better than it was when it launched, it's still not perfect on the PlayStation version, but it is on the other versions for sure.
Those pro controllers.
All right, Betty, your number 5.
My number 5 is actually one that I'm still playing right now, and that's Vampire: The Masquerade Justice.
Wow, that made your top 5. That's
even though it broke on me, seriously broke on me. I ended up on top of the map for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I broke it good.
Yeah, right. That is a really good one, Betty.
But it's just like I said. I think what I like is the way it feels when I'm pulling them in, and you just can't help but go. You're making the face. You're doing it. And the haptics, and it's just really good. And I really want to try to get through these maps stealthy, and not kill my way through, even though that's like the most fun.
Right.
Agreed.
Stealthy is way hard.
It's so much fun. It did not make my top 10. It did make my top 25. Barely. It made 25 for me. But I'm thinking now. I'm looking at my list now. I if I finish this thing and if it finishes as good as it starts, I think I may want to move this up on my list a little bit more. But there's just some all-time greats that I got to have in here somewhere. All right, my number 5 is Astrobot Rescue Mission, and this is one of those games where, again, I argue with myself even sometimes. I'm like, just because it was a great game then, does that equal a great game now? And while that is not the case for some, I think some games show their age. And while they were perennial greats when I first played them, they don't hold up anymore to me to the newer games. Astrobot is not one of those games. Like I still think like today, if they ported the exact version of Astrobot that you played on the PlayStation VR 1, if they ported that to Quest or to PlayStation VR 2, it would be one of the top selling games of all time.
Yeah.
Today, and that's just bringing the exact version over. That's not changing anything. Have the exact visuals, have the exact gameplay. Don't change a damn thing. It would still be today one of the best-selling games of all time if you released it now, and that's why it has to be on this list. Of your top.
Tons of people played it in the game on too.
I'm just surprised that it's above Walking Dead for you, Mesh.
It's that good. Like to me, it's like I know it was tough. Like I went back and forth. I mean, I wanted to put Saints and Sinners higher. Like I absolutely love that game, but there are some games on some platforms that I think just have better games maybe than say the Quest, where Walking Dead Saints and Sinners was my number one Quest. I don't know if it's there on my PlayStation for me. But
and that's another thing with this list too. I'm like, there's games that I've had on like the other list that we did, but. Do I need to put that on this list again?
Yeah.
I know.
Agreed. All right, Dee.
Picked my list up. It's just crazy now.
This is like super premiere number 4 now.
Cream of the crop.
Yeah, I mean this is like number 4 of all time.
Of crims.
Number 4.
Again, I love my shooters. Alvo.
Wow, this is amazing. I applaud you for putting it on this list. I mean, I know you love Alvo. It's a testament to Alvo that you would put this game over like Firewall. So far, maybe you have it up there, but Firewall Ultra, Firewall 0 Hour. You put it above Pavlov, as far as we know. You put it above a lot of things that could be out there. I mean, you love Alvo.
I put it above Light Brigade. Dude.
I know that's great. I mean, I know how much you love Light Brigade, but I know you love Alvo.
Freaking love Alvo. I love it.
It's so fast paced. I think you because you're a big Call of Duty fan, and I think you love love Alvo because it feels fast and like Call of Duty.
And you get the kill streaks, and the maps are different. It's fun, dude. It's just fun.
I love seeing a lot of this stuff in the chat. People saying, Astrobot number 2. Where's Astrobot 2? Like, where's Astrobot 2? Yeah, I want to see that. Somebody said to the top, as in, we haven't said to the top yet. I mean, there are so many good ones that you cannot put on this list, like that are just like I want to, but like I looked at To the Top. I love To the Top, but I mean, does it deserve to be ahead of some of these other games right now? And I don't know.
There's a game. There's a game that's on the first one on my almost made it list where I was struggling. I'll tell you later, but
I'm looking at my first 5 that didn't make my list, and they're freaking bangers. Like once I show you these, you're gonna be like, holy crap, yeah. Like, but what do? It's top 10. It's like you're getting rid of great games over great games, but you have to make a choice. All right, Betty, you're 4.
Right.
My 4, Moss 1 and 2.
Excellent choice. This is, they're amazing games and beautiful in that headset. Which one do you like better, Betty?
I liked 1 for nostalgic reasons, I guess, because again, it's when I got my PSVR 1, and it was one of those great games I was so happy I purchased. But I definitely would have to say 1 because that's when you fell in love with Quill. And then when they did the
dude, when I high five that little Quill, dude, come on.
When you pick her up and you feel her little heartbeat in the controller.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
And the DLC they gave us, I think it was a free DLC. Yeah, the garden.
Yeah.
And the big bullfrog. I was just Remember the big bullfrog?
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's at the end. Oh yeah, that was like one of my favorites.
Mine too. I had it in my top 25 for the Quest list, and it is one of my favorites. I think I like 2 a lot. Like I like the gameplay of 2 better. I mean, the one is great because it has that nostalgic feel the first time you ever played it, but 2 I thought was just super well done and beautiful. Yeah, for sure. All right, so my number 4 is Demeo. This game took a long time to get to PlayStation, but it's here now. It deserves to be on this list. It is an all-time great game, and Demeo has to be. Like, it made number 2 for my Quest list, and if I did a PC list, a PC VR list, damn, I'd have to make sure again, it's tough because you bring in new games to the mix when you bring in different platforms, but to me, I think Demeo needs to be up here. So Demeo is my number 4. D, you're number 3. 3.
Yeah. Switchback.
It's I get it.
Not
Like,
a-
I get it. Like, did you play Rush of Blood?
No.
Okay. Tough one. Like, to me, like, they're so close. Like, I love Switchback. I am of the mind where I loved Rush of Blood. It was one of my favorite games. I think I do love Switchback better than Rush of Blood. And I know most people
Yeah.
are gonna like, no, how dare you? You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I think it's really good. Didn't make my top 10. Did make my top 25. It's super close. Really good. I love it.
Good. It's
Yep.
a good.
All right, Betty.
Yeah.
3.
Oh, my 3. My third one is RE8.
Excellent choice. Resident Evil 8 is such a good game. D had it at 10. You had it at 3. I have it
I felt
at 3.
obligated to put it on.
I have it also at 3. So Resident Evil 8, we both put it at 3. How far have you gotten? Have you beaten this game?
My daughter and I completed it on flat screen together.
Nice.
I didn't hold off until it went into VR.
You had to go play it.
Yeah, Resident Evil is something that we do together and sit on the couch and swap back and forth the controller and play and eat pizza.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Resident Evil is one of my all-time favorite series. It's like I remember playing the original on the PlayStation and just being completely blown away. And I just love it. And Resident Evil 8, being able to play that game in full-blown virtual reality, where it looks exactly like the flat version in VR in a VR headset. There's almost nothing better.
I'm too scared to play it in VR.
Really? I don't know how Skiva got
Dude,
through it.
it's-
Skiva beat this game. I actually have not beat it. I'm probably like 3/4 of the way through it.
Yeah.
So I have not hit the conclusion of it yet. But Skiva beat it. Like, I don't know how he did it. Like, he freaked.
I
gets
know, and
freaked out.
he doesn't like scary, spooky games. These games, the baby. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is like worse than any phasmophobia. You know,
Oh my.
the stuff is scary. RE7 is scary.
Super scary. And Spooky Yuki says, just waiting for December to play RE4 on PlayStation VR 2. This list for me could be very different by the time we hit December, because if RE4 is as good as it looks in the trailers, I guarantee it probably will be making my top 10, and it's going to have to push something out of here. But yeah, I mean, number 3, 3 for Betty, 3 for me. Resident Evil 8. I thought about this for my number 1. I debated it for a little while. Like, I had it at number 1 at one point, and I kind of had to move it around a little bit. But all right, D, your number 2.
GT7.
Very nice. I like
Nice.
it. It's a great spot for this. I don't blame you at all.
Just talking about it, like I wanted to go into that game today with the new update, so I can drift around them snow corners on the new track.
That's right. I haven't tried that yet. I need to do that. I got my wheel. I'm ready to go. My wheel's right here.
I know they got a wheel downstairs.
Oh, have you tried it yet with the wheel from downstairs?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, it's so good, right?
No, that's the only way I'll play.
I have actually. I there was the Logitech shifter went on sale like right before I moved, and I picked it up for like $30. It was so cheap. It was on Amazon. It was, and I'm like, holy crap! I got to grab it. I haven't even used it yet because I end up moving. I have it on my rig, but I haven't even used it yet. I cannot wait. I am absolutely going to go in and do this snow thing, the snow tracks.
I have not played multiplayer on this.
No, we need to go. How's that? We need to go into multiplayer. It's so much fun, man.
Yeah, Zim always plays all the
race
time
against everybody.
Yeah.
Zim Talk. He plays GT7.
He does
all the time.
every second Sunday. He does it with a whole group of people, and you have to get on a list to actually get in there and do it. But I've done it with him. It's a ton of fun. Betty, your number. Where are we? 2.
Wait, no, D's number 2.
GT7.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, No Man's Sky.
There it is. We have another game
There
that
it
we've all
is.
picked here. No Man's Sky. You absolutely love it. You have a
All
hotel.
man's
You have
crack.
you have hotel. You have hotel R&R in No Man's Sky.
Yeah. So Hotel R&R was really good to me.
I know. I know.
Like,
It's
I got
cool. I
so
mean,
much
so
exercise.
tell us about your hotel in No Man's Sky, though.
Oh, the hotel in No Man's Sky. Well, yeah, Yuki in here and I we went out there and well, first he built a little place, a base, and then I made this really cool hallway to his base. It's like a little trail, but evidently I guess it was overloaded in that space. So we had to delete it all and we decided to make a hotel over on top of this mountain. It's
so cool.
freaking sick. I'm flying around on this giant butterfly that has a tail like a snake, right? It's yellow and purple, and it freaking flies fast too, which is cool. And I'm like, I have a little video clip of me like flying around circling the hotel. You know,
Oh wow.
I have
So
like
cool.
freaking giant creatures, you know, and I love it. And Dee, you need to come over. You need to come in.
I need to get into that game more. I've been meaning to.
I know, but if we do, it has to be a day where we have absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah, you need like 7 hours to get in there and do something in there, so you feel like you've gotten somewhere. I know.
I had an opportunity where I had the whole weekend to myself. Last weekend or the weekend before last, I think it was last weekend. I spent like since 10:30 to 10:30 at night. I have like, I don't know.
Very cool.
Ridiculous hours.
Love it, man. And you know what? It was so broken on PlayStation VR 2 when PlayStation 2 launched. It was so broken and looked so terrible that I know when PSVR Without Parole did their last top 25 list that they did with everybody. They did with Wes and Miles and Brian and AJ. They left it off the top 25 because it was so broken. Now this game is now on all of our top 10s. It's Betty's number 2. So
I only
that's
had
how far they've come.
45 hours on my PSVR 1. That's all I had because I struggled with it. Then everybody was still playing, and I just, but it definitely was. And now it's like 160 hours that I put in. Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Like Yuki said, you have to put a timer on when you play that game.
Yeah, right. You have to get yourself back out of it. All right, my number 2, Gran Turismo 7. I'm with you, D. I mean, this is an amazing game. It's one of my I love this game. It looks so beautiful. It plays perfectly in virtual reality. Especially with a wheel and pedals. I could literally put my daughter in it and teach her how to drive in this game. Really, because it feels like real world driving. It really does. And it looks beautiful. It's one of the best experiences I've had in virtual reality.
Yeah.
I wish they had it for other platforms. Like I wish they do have it for PC, but trust me, the jank of getting your wheel hooked up sometimes the PC is such a pain in the ass. And you have to download drivers, and sometimes the drivers don't mesh with other hardware or no other software that you have on there. Like I remember like when I had, my wheel and pedal hooked up and it didn't jive with my Pimax software, and the Pimax software made me delete all the drivers from my wheel, and I'm like, this is bullshit, man. And I just plug it in. Like literally just one plug into my PlayStation 5 and the wheel works. It's easy.
Boom.
Done. I just wish.
I really wish I could have had like my first reaction to seeing that game.
Yeah.
Like
recorded?
On video. Because at first when you get into that game, it's all flat screen.
Yeah.
The menu, it's flat. But the second it puts you into that freaking driver's seat, I was like, oh. Hey,
dude,
and I got the giggles.
Yeah.
If it gives you the giggles, it's good.
Oh my God, you got to put it on your top. You got to put it on your list. This is one of those games that when we talk about having VR be mainstream, and this if you ever got this game to work and look as good as it does in the PlayStation on the Quest, and you were able to hook up a wheel and pedal to your Quest and play GT7. This is how you get those are the games that sell headsets. Like it would blow people's mind if you put people in who are Quest 2 or Quest 3 only users who've never tried a PlayStation, never tried PC VR, and you were allowed them to play GT7 on the Quest headset with a wheel and pedal. It's like being born again. I mean, that's the difference of like standalone VR to, a console VR experience. And, eventually we will get there. We will get there very soon where you'll be playing a Gran Turismo 7 style game or type level of game in your standalone headset. I do believe that. All right, D, number one, all time. All
Number
time.
one.
Drum roll.
Zombieland Headshot.
Wow.
Wow.
Very cool.
Okay.
There is a reason why D has the number one ranking on the leaderboard on the first 11 levels against all of her
Wow.
friends. So
I love it.
Oh.
You are damn good at that game. I get why you have it on as your number one. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
it is.
Nice.
And
It's
it's too easy to be like, okay, I got this close to this score. So I beat my old score and then it's just one more time. One more
I
time.
love it. It's such a good game. It's one of those games that we talked about earlier, like Mother Gunship Forge. You can just jump back in at any time for an hour or 45 minutes and just have fun and just go in there and try and beat a score.
And this is the version that you want to get because not only do you get the 12 OG levels, you got the B side to all those levels now too.
Absolutely.
And it's a different cell shading with the graphics.
I love the
looks
cell
so much
shading.
better.
It's one of my favorites.
Awesome.
It's
awesome.
night and day, this version over the Quest or even the PC version. Like you have to go play it on PlayStation. If you have a PlayStation VR 2, this is a game that you must own. You must own it. Spooky Yugi says it reminds me of Tetris Effect, but with zombie headshots. I love Tetris Effect. It's so much fun. I wanted to put Tetris Effect on this list too. I mean,
know.
It's on my almost made it.
especially because
mine.
we talked about multiplayer earlier. Tetris Effect multiplayer.
It's fun.
great.
It's got multiplayer.
You can get like 3 or 4 people in there, right? It's amazing.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Oh, it's so fun.
Not that many. Holy
We
shit.
used to play it all the time.
I played it with 3. You might be able to get 4. I know you can definitely do 3.
4.
Yeah, 4. There you go.
Right?
Amazing.
Right?
But yeah,
Spooky,
I would
Spooky
love
4.
to have put this on my list. All right, Betty, here it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Your number 1 PlayStation VR game of all time.
The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Retribution.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, love it. It's a no-brainer. I mean, they nailed those physics back in the day when nobody else could. It was just so much fun, like, grabbing their heads and you could chop a single arm and, a leg, their heads off and all of that. It's a good game. It's a great game, great story, good voice acting, very good at voice acting. Yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah, it's so good. I love this game. There's no way you could ever even argue with that pick. I mean, like it's one of the all-time best games, and it happens to be a huge IP that they got right. How many IPs have we seen game developers do where they completely crap the bed with them and get them all wrong? Exactly. Ghostbusters. Yeah. I hate Ghostbusters. Seriously, I mean, this is one that they've done right, multiple times on multiple platforms. I mean, such a good game.
I didn't charge an arm and a leg.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Like I really could. I fought with myself to make it number 1. I made it number 1 on my quest list. I wanted to, but it didn't make it. And this game that I put at number 1, it may be my all-time favorite game, period. I've had this much fun in this game. I absolutely love this game. It is a light gun game, or not like, but yeah, it's the aim, the PlayStation aim controller game that I absolutely love, and that is Farpoint.
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 It was only 2,
Farpoint.
wasn't it?
Farpoint may be my all-time game of all time. Flat, VR, whatever. If you haven't experienced Farpoint, I feel bad for you, number 1, because it's tough to go experience it now because it's not coming to PlayStation VR 2 as far as I know. It's only on PSVR 1. But the experience of that game, the story, using the aim controller, it is freaking amazing, man. I absolutely love this game. I almost beat this entire game in one sitting. It took me like 8-9 hours. I was like 95% through it, and I'm like, I have to go to bed. It was like 4 a.m. When a game wraps you up that much that you just spend almost the whole entire time, and you just want to drive through it and get through it, it's just so good. It's like everything wrapped up into one makes a perfect experience, and that's why I love this game, and that's why, like, even today, if you gave me this game exactly the way it is on Quest, on PC, it would probably now still be one of the best games or one of the best-selling games you would get even today, and it is still my number one game. Could be my number one game again of all time. Eddie, it wasn't on your list. It wasn't on your top 10 at all.
No, it wasn't. I totally spaced off Farpoint. I'm sorry, but it was one of the first games that scared the shit out of me. Poor Void had to hear me screaming in his ear the whole time.
Paul Fantasy says, "Can you play PSVR 1 games on the PlayStation VR 2?" You can't, unfortunately. I mean, maybe one day we'll see some backwards compatibility with bringing them in. I don't think so, but you are starting to see some older games come to the platform now, but not across the board.
Yeah, I wish like the Hotel R&R, and then Skiva says Wipeout.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. It made number 16 on my list, Skiva. So now that we've gone through our top 10s, we can quickly go through. I'll go through, read mine right off, and then you can do yours, Betty, and yours, Dave, if you want. So number 11 for me was Walkabout Mini Golf. It's tough to leave that game out of the top 10, but I had to. Like, I would. So Red Matter.
But see, it's games like that what I was mentioning earlier. Like, they're on other platforms,
Right.
you know, so they. Yeah.
It's tough, right? Like, how do you leave it off? It's like I could make a case to put it on right now. I mean, I made it number 11. I made it just outside the top 10. Red Matter 2. Red Matter 1 and 2. They both deserve probably to be up there. They're, again, a game that you should play on this platform because it looks that good. Moss Book 1 and 2, Betty, and Dee, I had it there. Moss Book 1 and 2. Number 14, I had Rush of Blood. I love Rush of Blood. It's one of the all-time favorites. I would have loved to put it in top 10 if I could have made it get in there. Resident Evil 7. Still one of the scariest experiences I've ever done in virtual reality. Even over Resident Evil 8 is Resident Evil 7. Wipeout Omega Collection 16. 17, I talked about it earlier, Fracked. It's one of my all-time favorite games. I love Fracked. Switchback, D. I had it, number 19. Actually, 18 was Firewall Zero Hour, 19 was Switchback.
I would fight for that to be up higher on the definitive list. That's how much I freaking love that.
It's game. Really good. Like, I don't blame you. I mean, I thought about bringing it in. 20 is Blood and Truth. D, if that's another one, if you ever hook back up, go play Blood and Truth. If you want a full-blown, like, cinematic experience in virtual reality, like the closest thing you're going to get to something like that, Blood and Truth is amazing. 21 for me, Hubris. Sniper Elite VR. Again, Sniper Elite we absolutely love, right, D? With the aim controller, it's a whole new level of coolness with the aim controller. Sniper Elite VR. Here's another one, Star Wars Squadrons. Like, this game is freaking amazing. If you have not played Star Wars Squadrons, I almost tried to put this in my top 10. That's how great this is.
It is good.
The Light Brigade made my 24, Vampire Masquerade Justice 25, and then 26 was Zombieland.
I'm only going to go through one. I mean, I got more, but the one is a newer game that I just started playing. But I'm struggling to get it into my top 10. But Ghost Signal.
It's so good.
I'm
with you.
So much fun.
There's a lot of good things about that one.
Yeah. It's really
if
good.
I don't, it's right up there with shooter games. Like, I love flying games.
Yep. And this has both. Yeah.
Right. So.
Absolutely love it, and it looks amazing on the PlayStation VR too. So,
dude, you're floating in space,
it's so
dude,
cool.
And it looks amazing.
Hell yeah!
You know,
that was the only one you had, D?
No, there's more there, but we've all talked about them already. So Kayak. You know,
Horizon, Kayak is a good one.
Pistol,
we didn't bring
Red
up Kayak
Matter, Moss 1 and 2, Walkabout, Tetris Effect.
Nice, Betty. You want to give yours quickly?
I really, pretty much nailed it. I mean, I did have like Paper Beast on there, which is really good. I think
it's super like trippy. I love Paper Beast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a trippy one. I liked it a lot. What else did we say Hubris at all? Because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had it at 21. Hubris is great. Looks great on the headset. That's awesome. Yeah.
And I think. Oh, and then Thumper was another really good one.
Man, I wanted Thumper in there too, man. I had thought about it a couple of times.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. But I think that's all I really had in here. I'm really sad that I forgot Farpoint. I feel like such an ass.
Do you think it would have made your top? Yeah, right. Do you think it would have made your top 10? And what would
Huh?
what would you think it would have made your top 10 if you remembered? And what would you had to
Farpoint,
bring out?
yeah, it would have. If I would have remembered Farpoint, yeah.
What would you think you would have to pull out?
I for Farpoint, I would pull out Hotel
Riggs.
R&R.
Oh no, Hotel R&R.
Sadly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Technically says Riggs number. Where's Riggs? Riggs was cool, man. I actually
Oh
liked
my
Riggs.
gosh, Riggs.
Too bad that died.
Mm-hmm. They always tried to get me to play that. I didn't really. I mean, I got into it a few times, but
Chrome Colossus has mentioned Dreams a couple of times, and Dreams is so freaking cool. I would have, I could make a case to get it in my top 25. I don't know if I could get it in my top 10. I don't think I get it in my top 10, but I could definitely. I thought about it for top 25 a few times, but again, what am I taking off? I got to take something great off to get it in there, but it does deserve it. I wish they had continued VR support for it, and I wish they would have brought it to the PlayStation VR 2, but not to be.
all right.
Awesome. This is a great list, guys. Betty, super fun list. I'm glad you brought up some games that maybe people weren't thinking about.
No,
I thought that was
they're
super
secret
cool.
games.
I love it. I think it's super cool because I knew you would come with some things that were that especially PSVR 1 stuff that people maybe weren't thinking about that they should think about, and maybe they'll go back and play them now if they still have their stuff hooked up. And Dee, I love your perspective because you're heavy PlayStation VR 2, so it's cool to see your perspective on it as well. But you have tried a couple of PSVR 1 games, and you did get a couple on your list too, which I absolutely love.
She picked out the best ones, but like Alvo and Farpoint, totally forgot about those.
Love it. All right, I think that's going to be it. That's like a 3-hour show. Nice job.
Again,
we said 3 hours. So we're right on time.
We
Actually, I mean, we're right on it. We like it. Let's do it. No, 3 hours every week.
No, I quit. These last episodes.
Business like, I'm out. No. This was fun. Whenever we do these lists, it takes a ton of time to get through them, but it was a lot of fun to do. I'm glad we did it. Thanks for Gustav to coming on and doing that interview. I thought it was awesome. Betty, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us for 3+ hours.
Thank you so much, you guys, for inviting me. I have been dying to hang out with Dee for so long. Hello, Dee.
Yeah.
Hi,
Betty. Dee, it was worth the 3 hours to hang out with Betty.
Yeah, but 3 hours, man. Work, sleep.
Oh, we're gonna get some sleep. Tasselhoff says, Mr. Tasselhoff says, xrupdate.com for your VR news. Thank you again for putting that in there. And please, yes, definitely go check out XR Update. Go check out Dee. Are you streaming? He put your Twitch.
It's been so long. I need to get back into it, especially since I have the frickin' 3080 now and frickin' all this other cool shit in my PC.
Didn't you do RE8 stream?
No,
I
started
15 minutes worth.
but shut up. It was a little longer than that. But no, with me being like new to streaming and everything, there's too much downtime for me in it. But I promise, I pinky swear.
Ooh, that's a big one.
That
pinky swear.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my even cricket one.
Swear.
Nice.
But I will play it, record it, and then I'll put some form of screaming at scary shit out there for you guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Looking forward to it.
And then Tasselhoff also put on there Betty's YouTube channel. Go check out Creeper Betty VR on YouTube. Betty Late the Never News. Every other Saturday, we will see one this week, and maybe you'll see some of her other top 10 stuff for PlayStation VR this week in the news.
And now I got more things to talk about after this show. I'm so excited. I was drawing such a blank, and now I'm anxious to get things started.
Boom, you got it. Now you have it. But yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out for that whole entire time. Thanks for being here. Go check out Virtual Strangers tomorrow night, sometime wherever we start. Sometime with maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Maybe not, if not Sunday. Well, yeah, check us out if you got want to check us out. Virtual Strangers. If Tass wants to put the link in there. But yeah, normally Fridays, sometimes Sundays, sometimes Mondays. Who knows? And then Crewcast, come check us out on Mondays. GT and Skiva and Alex Wes, Roots, myself, and Brad and GT all hanging out talking VR.
I
But
get to miss. I get so sad. Well, you know what? I can always rewatch it, right? Rewatch it if you miss it.
that's it. Always rewatch it afterwards. Thank you
Mhm.
guys for being here. We appreciate it. Have yourselves an amazing night and enjoy all of your weekends. And we will see you very soon.
See you.
Peace.